The saga continues here in Street Fighter League Japan season number 6 with another week full of jam-packed action as we get closer and closer to determine who will our top 6 teams be moving on into the second phase towards the playoffs. My name is Vicious, here with Senkola to bring you all the action per the usual in our big week here in Street Fighter League.
It's a big week as we get closer and closer towards that second part of the season where we start having the home and away squad come back, but more importantly, 6 teams. Right now we have 9 teams. We're gonna eliminate 3 teams when we get to that second part of the season. So, for good reason, all of these champions are here to be fighting it out for as many points as possible. For some teams, they need as many points, like 40 ballers. For other teams, they could slack a little bit. But more importantly, we have a lot of teams coming up, I think today, that need as many points as possible, like 40 points for like Shinobism Gaming, for HIROSHIMA Team Itsuka. And here you see that we have that best of 2, and then, best of 3, and then best of 5, or first of 2, or first of 3 in our first stage. And then later on, we'll be going to that home and away squad as we used to have. But man, going back to it, we've seen a lot of blowouts. Like HIROSHIMA Team Itsuka kind of rise to the occasion. Shinobism Gaming, not so much.
You know, we've seen a handful of teams start to kind of really pick up the pace in terms of the matchups that they were kind of lacking and slacking, as you would so put it. But for the most part, right, we're starting to see the adaptations of what's been going on in the meta, and they need that as much as possible going into the next phase, which is going to be coming up in just a few more weeks, right? We've already hit the halfway mark, and these guys are going to be getting out for the playoffs pretty much just before you know it. But as it stands right now, these guys have to keep themselves sharp, as ready as ever. There's also the Capcom Pro Tour. There's plenty of World Warrior events. But as it is right now, they are gunning for the #1 spot. Why? Because there's so much on the line. We got 8 million yen to be exact, divvied up amongst the top 3. But overall, these cats are vying for that spot to face off the other international champions of Street Fighter League at the prestigious Capcom Cup number 10. So that's already going to be a pretty big deal for a lot of the folks here, because if they can't make it via the CBT, their main chance is obviously for the Street Fighter League.
Then we saw that last year, where a lot of people would come through tailing on the ends of Street Fighter League and would participate in the LCQ. But, you know, I feel like that still has the same, like, amount of heat behind it, trying to get that victory for Street Fighter League. It's just as important for a lot of these teams, a lot of these players, I should say. But going back to these teams, once again, Shinobism Gaming versus FAP is going to be our very first match of the day. And again, Shinobism Gaming, on the precipice of getting knocked down. They're only 5 points away from being knocked down from HIROSHIMA Team Itsuka. Depending on how they do today, they may be surpassed. Either they take that victory, get some dubs, and go higher up in the ranks, or they gain nothing and they get surpassed by HIROSHIMA Team Itsuka, depending on their performance. But FAP Gaming in that top spot, bro, I really thought it was going to be good 8 squad, you know, as their per usual dominance with FAP Gaming, who has, I think, won every single game except for the last time that we saw them against the New Kids on the Block that was Cyclops.
It's kind of wild the way that we kind of had our predictions earlier in the season, and then we saw the meta start to develop, right? We had characters like Manon really shake up things in the very beginning of the game's lifespan, especially piloted through the hands of Gatsukun, right? Capcom Cup champion. We would have expected some huge blowouts coming from the side of Good 8 Squad, but that's just how unpredictable it is, not in just the team results, but also in the way that the meta has currently developed. Now, some people might have had their money on Ken being the #1 all-star, right? The big change up from Beta 2 up until this point, right? We still remember that YouTube video, but as it is right now, it could still go even further, especially with the amount of Ryus that have been winning World Warrior, and in particular Zangief that had just qualified into Capcom Cup. Listen, I'm not trying to put any propaganda out there, but the fact should be this: the characters are still currently being developed, right, in the meta. Let's take a look at who will be piloting what with which team. Shinobism Gaming kicking things off first, of course, Johnny, the Swanky Ninja, coming in with his couple of picks. Now, he has a handful of characters thus far, but one thing is for sure, he is backed by the Grave Maker to put you 6 feet under. Fujimura, especially with the hands of the Hot Ken, followed by the Vanguard. Most of the time you want to send him in the front, but this guy Yamaguchi, he'll back you up as well with the Luke to protect the prime Shinobi that is Momochi. This team is stacked to the brim with heavy hitters. not just in players themselves, but also the characters.
Talk about heavy hitters. We gotta talk about FAV Gaming as they sit in the top spot dominantly this season for good reason. Check out these players and characters. First of all, it's the judge, jury, and executioner himself, Papa Bon-chan, coming through with that Luke. Ever so dominant with that character. And then it is the FGC scout, the absolute genius himself, Tokido, with that drive rush play. Then after that's going to be the Eyes of Desperation, always open, always prepared, and always watching. Ryusei with that JP and maybe DJ. Last but not least, it's going to be the strongest spear, always on point, Sakanoko, especially in regards to his execution. Now, once again, this team is super sick. We see the players, we know their pedigree, Evo champions, top 8 places continuously, and just absolute geniuses when it comes to the game. But their characters too as well. A lot of great variety, a lot of good, I guess I should say, meta-heavy usage in terms of what they have for selection. You can say the same for Shinobism Gaming, but for some reason they really haven't grasped many points, many victories besides maybe the likes of Fujimura.
You know, I think that's a fair assessment, taking a look at the current record of Shinobism Gaming, but I kind of want to go even further than that. Like, if we were to take a look over at the Street Fighter League player rankings thus far, Fujimura, I think you're absolutely correct. He's currently 4 out of 5 Ws in his matches, netting himself 40 points. It hasn't been through ways of any sort of like anchor matches, so if I were Shinobism Gaming, I would think to myself, why wouldn't I have him as our anchor in any other circumstances, especially with the way that he's been developing the character? I think this might just be the week to do that, considering this is the first time I feel like we've seen Yamaguchi actually be the vanguard for this week.
I 100% agree. That was something I actually wanted to bring up today. I thought about all day, like, why isn't Fujimura in that final position? We'll see if that comes to fruition. But I definitely think that he should be in the anchor spot, especially when you need as many points as possible right now. But all these players need to be up in terms of their characters, in terms of earning points. We'll see if that happens with Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi says, today's an important day to go for the second stage. I'm going to start out with a win. Those are bold words. Going up, against the likes of Ryusei. I mean, that's going to be difficult. Ryusei, I feel like he's kind of been cooking with that JP. I watch him every so often. And one thing I really like about him is that he will post up his losses and review them on his YouTube. He is very studious and studied when it comes to taking his L's. And that's a really big thing when it comes to being a player. Being like, hey, man, I took this L. I'm going to be obvious about it. I'm going to put it out there and learn from it. That's a mark of a champion.
I thoroughly agree, right? I think that's the kind of caliber we could expect from a lot of the players in Japan of this caliber, of the professional variety. I think it really comes down to, like, also picking and choosing the right order. I think a lot really goes into the blind picks for strategizing. This one's a lot harder in comparison to the second phase of it, right? This is just completely blind pick, then it's process of elimination once you get past game number 1, or sorry, match number 1, match number 2. But I will say this, I think Ryusei has done a pretty phenomenal job of getting all of his bases covered, especially for some of the matchups that I feel like JP might be slightly weaker in. I think DJ has a pretty decent time trying to close the gap, especially with how fast his movement is to catch JP off guard. But I will say, I think I like Ryusei as a, you know, like a full kit, right? He's got the entire kit of offensive close. He's got great CQC. His defense is phenomenal. He's not one to be overzealous with OD amnesia, and he uses movement as an option as well. But also, I think he does a great job of spacing his opponents out and kind of playing the JP game that needs to be. Like, I think the setups for departure are very much so on point. He plays anime fighters, right? He does a really, really great job of understanding how to play the neutral appropriately.
I think that also leads into, like, being able to get the most out of every exchange appropriately too as well. And with a character like JP, you see the reward that this character can get, and it's ridiculous. But I don't think it's like a win button. It's definitely not a win button. I think when it comes to this matchup, though, on the reverse side of things, we've seen DJ be able to handle JP, drive rush, stand fierce, drive rush, medium kick. You know, stand heavy kick if you're in range to check and challenge the Ghost. Ghost leading to a lot for this character. And any character that's got a long distance with their drive rush is going to have a better time more often than not compared to, like, the likes of Geef. Even though we saw Geef win this week, it was definitely difficult from the side of Snake Eyes. But I do think that DJ could have a good time. But as you put it, I mean, this has really been a bit of a blind pick sort of situation for this first part of the season. And I feel like it's going to be difficult no matter who you send up. and you just have to be prepared for whatever matchup comes, whether you lose or win. But I think, watching the CFN, I think these cats have been prepared no matter what comes their way. We'll see what happens. I mean, Ryusei says it's an honor to face Yamaguchi in a big title like this. He'll win for his team, though, and I like that energy. I like the, hey, man, I can't wait to play. All I see is this person in front of me and gaining points for my team. And we'll see what happens to see if the full complete package will deal with Yamaguchi, who is the iron wall when it comes to defense. We saw that in 5, that back walk block that he was so good about, that was almost reminiscent of like Shudo's play a little bit, but I think even better in terms of defense. He just needs to be able to switch his offense on to stay solid.
So if numbers really tell us anything in regards to Ryusei's current matchup spread, he's faced off a lot of, I guess, fast-paced characters, right? He had lost to Oniki's Kimberly 0-2. He had lost to, I think, somebody else's Ken, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so actually, no, he lost to Tachikawa's Kimberly in week 4. Then, right after that, he lost to Naomin's Ken, 0-2. Then you had to see a little bit of a change-up, right? In his matchup, I think, against Goichi, playing against a character who has a pretty phenomenal walk speed. It is a charged character, so Fireball is going to be a little bit more predictable. We'll see if there's going to be any sort of change up in regards to another charge character, but who also happens to be a pretty fast one at that too. So we'll see how he does under pressure against a fast archetype character.
Yeah. How you going to deal with this? How you going to check a challenge? Who's going to drive, rush, back, throw, punish, counter for some extra damage? And that's going to get that distance to be able to harass from full screen.
I like the spacing so far from Yamaguchi, but this is the better part for JP, right? He gets to kind of spam that low medium kick over and over and over again. And I also love the departure, being able to force Yamaguchi back. And at that range, I think, Ryusei is more than willing to throw out the crouching medium punch just like that to stuff out the drive rush, right? He was sniffing it out the entire time, hence the pacing. He was letting departure do most of the work. He wasn't overzealous with any of his spikes or his goes. He was purely waiting on Yamaguchi to make that move with the green light.
We've seen that be, the entry point, and it still is an entry point, obviously, for this character. But I like that he's got something for him. OD Fireball. Here's a follow-up with the Just Cool and the Jackknife. We'll jump. Try to get the command grab. Too slow for that, bro.
I agree. The reversal soul bot. It creates a good amount of space, too, for Yamaguchi to get set up with the Fireball game that he wanted to, at least up until this point. Now it's going to be full Ryusei with the departure. He can move forward if he wanted to, but he is going to be setting up, attacking the drive gauge. That seems to be the objective.
Didn't kill the character. Still gets in with the jump light kick. That's it. Could have been dangerous, but Yamaguchi staying solid, getting that lead, holding it very well. We get full screen. Strange that we see Ryusei kind of going in maybe a little bit too quick. Let's see if he kind of slims it down. I feel like long range, full screen, you can fight this character. Air slash has got a lot of recovery, so Pierce, if timed correctly, can out projectile the likes of DJ.
Yeah, if anything, at worst case scenario, it's a trade, but when it comes to trades, JP, he's always got the upper hand, I feel like, because you're going to be sending people full screen or keeping them at the same spot as where they started, which is just fine, especially for a man like him. Yeah, great block on the overhead. In danger of possibly, the drive rush forward from Ryusei, the big trade on the soul bot, creating that space. Yamaguchi not afraid of it.
Ooh, the confirm, the backboard. We're going to level 3 just yet. One more hit. We'll see if it's going to go right into level 2. But still gets clipped. Oh, that's it.
Man, the guy went right through JP's legs. He's like, don't worry, boss. I got this. And clip him from the right side. I thought that ghost was gone. I thought that ghost was genuinely off the screen and not even going to, come through at all, but I imagine Ryusei saying the same thing. He's like, oh, I think I got very lucky on having that second to last ghost there. I didn't realize I was going to stay up there as long as it did.
Yeah, surprising. And I thought, Yamaguchi probably thought that too as well. He probably tried to go in when he thought it was his turn and his time to shine, but it was not meant to be. Ryusei still things with that level 2, but either way, I like that level 2 just in general to close things out, to put them in that scramble situation, to cover all your bases. I've seen that happen so many times where it's like, okay, in level 2, It's gone. You've jumped out, and people try to get back in immediately. If you overextend, it's your demise. So Ryusei taking that first victory. Yamaguchi, let's see if we can route it back and get that lead and really force Ryusei to come to him, because it felt like when Yamaguchi had the lead, Ryusei was like, I got to get it immediately. We saw the teleport after the OD departure, try to get a grip. Yamaguchi with that slight walk back, avoided the throw, and got at least that round. But Ryusei with the first victory so far.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot that has been an immediate threat from the side of Yamaguchi, right? He's been a little bit cautious about his approach. He hasn't been at all belligerent with his drive rushes. The one time he did, it was kind of in a moment where Ryusei was expecting it. I think doing something like out the gate to kind of test the waters is a common. I know it sounds slightly scrubby. I totally get it, but it is a legit strategy that a lot of the players have used in Street Fighter League, right? Dogura has even been one to initially burst out of the gate with drive rush to check his opponent and to secure the initiative, right? I think something like that can really be beneficial to Yamaguchi to force Ryusei to kind of like secondhand play defense and just chill for a little bit as you push him towards the corner. But we'll see, right? I think a lot of the times it was Yamaguchi trying to find the right spacing to get some of these Sobots in, but in those spaces, man, you know how many low medium kicks Yamaguchi ate in that set? I think there was like 7 or 8, like for free.
399 from the side of Ryusei, bro. That's a lot. That does add up too as well, and that makes you frustrated and makes you kind of want to like get in even more. Like, oh dang, like let me get in, let me in. Like you're shaking the chains. Like let me in, bro. But I also feel like maybe the switch up might be more like air slash and OD air slash too as well. So bots not working out. Add more on the menu. Show him more looks and just drive rush. Give him some more of those fireballs to work through too as well. So maybe some more jump ins, and there we go. Round start with the air slash. Actually worked out for a little bit.
He went for the 3-piece combo, right? He went for air slasher, Sobat, then immediate drive rush. I love it. This is a faster Yamaguchi. It's exactly what we were asking for, right? We have to test Ryusei and see how he reacts to some of the faster paced characters. He fell short to Kim and Ken. Let's see if DJ can also make the man bleed. And thus far, we're seeing Ryusei, again, very, very much so throwing out that low medium kicks once again to create that space and mostly to check DJ and his approaches. Departure setup. That's going to be forcing DJ to go back. Again, double departure too. You're going to see a lot of that drive gauge slowly start to diminish.
I love this walk block, to be honest. I like that people have maybe adjusted themselves to not just go for like risky parries and things like that, but switch up the defense. Just kind of try to walk him down, try to block it out. I'd like to see more of that just cool light kick. They'll get that hit on the crouching medium punch. No big follow-up. Ryusei's out of there. Back up for that level 2. You know what to do. Well, the area right there, yo, he's so smart. Yamaguchi, what a check.
And that's not really common that we see JPs kind of just take to the skies after a level 2 has been initiated, right? They kind of keep to the ground and play somewhat reactionary to what the opponent's doing. And they kind of go for the big exposure with like a teleport or like walk up and see what the defense is like. But yeah, jump forward, really uncommon, I think. An immediate stop to the drive rush, crouching medium punch from Yamaguchi, and I'm loving this too. Man, the knee shot gets checked by the anti-air. It's so consistent from JP. The big drive rush combo. Do we get to set up a departure? We sure do.
Teleport throw. Up in the corner, meaty stand, heavy kick. Sweep up the feet. Goes for the low. Be able to finish this. He's got the level 3. Yes. Let me see the massage parlor. CA, see you later, brother. Oh yeah.
Buy one,
we're
get
dead
one
of the
free
dead.
special. Big thumbs up, Yamaguchi. He's got it in control. 2 rounds. It's a big swing. We talked about it earlier, man. What happens when Ryusei is forced against someone who's playing real fast?
Rushdown sort of style. I like that. I like that sort of flavor. Also, you see the just cool light kick we've seen a lot from a lot of DJs in this matchup. The clip, crouching medium kick, the clip, crouching medium punch. The clip punches preemptively. I think it's a fantastic thing that you'll see enough of from Yamaguchi. You are seeing the OD fireball fault that, of course, drive rush, stand fierce. Into the corner we go with the throw.
Oh. I do like the consistency of anti-air in the knee shot. That could be so much for DJ, getting you that mix. But speaking of the mix, you have the drive rush approach now finally coming out from Yamaguchi, forward throw, and that's enough damage. That was a punish counter.
Extra on the top to make your heart stop right there. Yamaguchi, turn up like volume. This is what we wanted to see from Yamaguchi. He's been known to have, great defense, but that offense, something that he himself said he just had, listen, I got to go in sometimes. I got to go in to get my win. But here's Ryusei initiating the party with that crouching medium kick. Crouching medium kick right back, Yamaguchi.
That was actually so smooth. Speaking of smooth, I love the drive rush sweep approach. That'll be just fine. Yamaguchi making all the right decisions right now. That safe jump gets blown up sky high. Yeah, that is something that is commonly practiced nowadays, right? As many safe jumps as DJ has, you have to exercise some of those safe jump options. And also learn to defend against it.
Yeah, run that parry situation. Drive reverse, you're still caught up in the storm of Ghost. In terms of damage, this might be the most. Off the backboard, oh, he gets the drive rush heavy kick. Did not get the fault that he wanted with the Pierce.
The defense is there. What was that? I can't imagine that is something he wanted to do. But hey, it was in the motion of doing a critical art. So I'm actually very, very glad. And it's also very fortunate for Yamaguchi that if he was mastering critical art, he did not get it.
Waste all that bar at the bottom, bro. He got it. 5-piece in level 3. Immediately gonna get this lead. Has him in the corner. Your bar juiced up. There's something taken down. But I've seen this being talked about on Twitter. Go for that level 3, get that lead. If you have the drive gauge to back yourself up, and look at this caught in the corner. What's the defense like here for Ryusei?
Oh, that's a punish. Oh, that could have been so much more. I do like the idea. Just going for the standing light kick. Yeah, that's going to be more than enough damage, right? Yes, sir. Yamaguchi bringing it back. That's exactly what we were looking for. What happens when you force Ryusei to play that fast-paced defense? I'm glad that Yamaguchi picked it up.
Too fast, too furious from the side of Yamaguchi. I mean, this is what we've seen from him in previous seasons where he was like, my defense is good, but I'm not doing anything to initiate damage. I'm not doing anything on my side to really make them sweat. And then he just, in the second or third game, just is like, you know, what if I turn up my volume? What if I get aggressive with it? And this character, you kind of have to, I feel like. We saw the Just Cool. We saw the OD fireballs, the normal fireballs, drive rush, stand fierce, all the good stuff that DJ is known for to take Ryusei down. It was too many looks for Ryusei to deal with. Good stuff to Yamaguchi. I gotta say, Ryusei's defense in the corner is pretty damn decent overall. Crouch fierce, anti-air against those jump-in situations, but it wasn't enough to deter the mix that was coming through from the side of Yamaguchi in terms of his rotation of options.
Right. Yeah, I can say that, you know, Ryusei, his offense was pretty much phenomenal, but there's just something about DJ, man. There's so many different looks that you were talking about, right? Yamaguchi has exercised majority of the different looks. One of the main looks that we actually see that's pretty common, at least from stateside and I guess like other regions of Asia, are the Just Cool setups that DJ can do, right? But we'll talk about that after these stats in just a bit. Taking a look at what the biggest detriment I feel like towards JP or Ryusei's gameplay, it had to be the tech throws, right? I think it's much more appropriate to take the throw against DJ than fall for any sort of like frame trap into like a big punish counter, etc. Because DJ, again, we talked about it, one of the big damage dealers in the roster. So a big opening like that could spell lights out a lot sooner than you would wish. So I think overall, taking the throws against DJ, I think it's fine. I think it's totally fine in comparison.
100%, bro. You see the screen shake after that crouch fierce, you know what's coming next. Big boy damage. And now we have some more big boy action out here. Luke on the side of Momochi. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. Hold on. What am I seeing?
Yeah, I feel like he hasn't really been showing this character off on stream. I think Choco Blanca was also kind of commandeering the stream for a little bit, but I will admit I didn't get a chance to check Momochi's CFN due to CPT obligations. But if I'm not mistaken, I think Shinobism Gaming, their caravan is open to like public viewing right now. I think there's like a whole group of people right now being able to tune into Shinobism Gaming at like a venue. I think that Choco is emceeing at, if I'm not mistaken. I happen to see something like that on Twitter, so that's really, really cool. But yeah, Momochi switching off to the Luke, it's not going to be too big of a surprise because like everybody else, they grinded out this character. This is like the staple character that everybody played the demo with. Tokido also playing Ken, that also is no big surprise. But yeah, Momochi with the Luke, this is going to be like the battle of fundies, man.
It really is. I mean, it's strange because I feel like it's odd for him to pick this character. I remember maybe it's Mobage, I believe, that told me this, that You know, they switched from, like, Momochi switched from Ken to Rashid because they already had a kid in their cast, so why have a repetitious character? But Luke is kind of strange, but you're right. He's grinded it out, you know, early days. Let's see if he still has it fresh and ready for the likes of Tokido. I mean, Momochi said himself, he said, I wanted to play Tokido the most in FFV Gaming, so I'm excited. Tokido says, I was practicing to face Momochi. I'm confident I'm going to do my best. Last time we saw Tokido, he got the victory. However, it felt like he was, I don't want to say like a little sloppy, but just not himself in terms of having sort of like game plan or confirms and things like that. So let's see if he's back in business with this character. I feel like it's taking him some time to shine when it comes to Street Fighter 6. He's kind of maybe not been on point with like utilization of his drive gauge, as he had put it, Rebel Kumite. He has figured it out better and better, but is he ready enough to take down the likes of Momochi?
I mean, this is the guy that got the drive rush nerf, right? This is the guy that, well, I guess quote unquote nerfed, right? Having the light spam buffering the dashes behind it so that he would get the option select of whether or not it would hit. So that was actually really smart. That happened here, by the way. I don't know if you guys remember it, but that whole change to the drive rush off of lights, being able to cancel it even off of a whiff, that's because of Tokido and what he did to one of the Ken players. I think he did it to Akira in I think one of the earlier weeks. So that's pretty funny, by the way. But I do kind of share your sentiment. I think the last time Tokido had been playing, we haven't seen like full optimization. But if there's any sort of consolation, I think Tokido having a W against Gachakun's Rashid should be enough of a reason for Momochi to reconsider playing Rashid against someone like Tokido. And looking at the overall record, right, we have 50 points from the side of Tokido. Man, as much as we talked about him not optimizing the character as much, he sure has a lot of wins, Senkola. It's pretty good.
Yeah. We kind of saw that with his Luke last time in Street Fighter 5, right? Like, he wasn't like always optimal, but he would just take you to the corner whenever he could, utilizing maybe like some of the best parts of the character, and then work you in the corner. Like, that was kind of like the game plan. It wasn't like, you know, perfect knuckle combos all the time, but it was like Tokido's way, and it worked out for him. And hey, if that's how you get your win, listen, it ain't sloppy, it's on point, brother. You know, I'm gonna take back my words, Tokido. If that's your way, that is your way, brother. But we'll see what happens. I think you're right in terms of him like not wanting to run the Rashid in terms of Momochi after he had saw what had happened to Gachaku, to John Takeuchi. When you saw the other Rashid players get knocked down, he was like, hey, I see your game. I'm good with it. Let me try something a little bit different. And if he needs to, I guess he could switch to Rashid if need be. He probably would not want to be down a whole game, or maybe even go to the mirror match with the Ken. But we'll see what happens if that even needs to happen. Because Momochi, even though maybe his Luke isn't like super freshed up and played for months upon months, weeks upon weeks, he has great fundamentals himself, as you pointed out. Let's see how this operates.
Yeah, this guy's a footsie monster. This guy's a footsie and reaction monster. So I think playing the reactionary style definitely fits both players. They have to go to the next strategy that'll help. Yeah, and I love that within the right space and getting the medium kick confirmed. Tokido striking first blood after the initial challenge from Momochi throwing out the fireball. And he's willing to throw it out again, but at these closer ranges, Tokido actually missed a big important low medium kick drive rush, but still gets the drive rush throw against Momochi. So this is going to be pretty important, right? Now what happens? Oh my god, he backed away and still got the whiff punish. Jeez.
That is, what a read from Tokido. He stand fierce, driver slide punch, walk up though, I like that, but not a back though. Could have been a lot more in terms of a positional advantage. Careful with these fireballs. We've already seen Tokido do parry into drive rush right after it. There could be just stand heavy kick as a punish. Fujimura practicing that, showcased that as an option against the likes of Luke. Oh, he's in. Medium knuckle, perfect. On point. No DP.
Yeah, most of the time we kind of see those scenarios into like a crosscut DP, but nice and easy Tokido with the confirm. There's going to be a lot of drive rushes that haven't been checked from Momochi, and I think that's going to be going to, that has to be like the strategy that Tokido is going to be going for most of the time. He will continuously go to that well, exactly like that, right? Now he's testing the reactions. We talked about this from Momochi. He is a reaction beast, but Tokido testing it like this is so good.
It's kind of nasty how he's utilizing the drive gauge, you know, those baits and feints. Oh, weighted bait right there. Easy bait up. Brother, that's a perfect KO. On Momochi. On Momochi.
We just got to go next. That felt like a Marissa clip. It absolutely felt like it was Big Bird on the screen. No, it was Marisa. Yeah, dude, off of the level 3, getting 2 extra, how many, 3 extra DPs? I don't even know, man. I lost count. But whatever was hitting, it was hitting.
Man, Tokido, bro. We again, he ain't got the fanciest combos. He has the fundamentals to back it up. But we drive rush forward against the Fireball Mochi, taking a page out of Tokido's book and puts him in the corner. Can he make this work, though? We know that Ken can get those side switches if he gets that Dragon Lash off an enhanced run. Will it get done, though? I don't know.
Oh, nice check against the dash forward. Now, Tokido, he hasn't really shown off that card recently, but it's Momochi, who ends up walking away, but still gets clipped by the low forward. That is a classic strategy. For the Jin Rise as well. Firing right back is Momochi with a low forward, but the fireballs are starting to slow and change the pace. Tokido catches Momochi with the back throw, but more importantly, this burnout, oh, that could have been so much worse with the neutral jump. He could have drive rushed forward and punished it.
That was super bad. You were caught up in burnout in the corner against the likes of Ken. It's about to be your end. Impact, we wake up with level 1 to back him up. You had to do it. Now we're able to drive impact. That could have been so deadly right there. Mochi able to bring things back in terms of his drive gauge and has the health lead. I like that drive plus light punch. A lot more range on it because he works forward. Pushing to get to the corner. The back throw.
Oh. Drive gauge back, and that's so smart. He could have possibly drive rushed behind that old fireball, but I think from that space, maybe not. It's kind of tough to call. One touch away for both, really.
Tokido's way, man. Parry, but no drive rush right after. We'll have to spin that bar. Tries the bait on reaction. Interrupts the soup. That's unfortunate. And you get hit with a sandblast. Brother.
You know what's wild? You know, that run was actually the correct read. If he didn't run uppercut before the sandblast hit, Tokido would have been a gun.
Yeah, run DP, the chip.
Well, he would have gone past the fireball.
Oh.
It would have killed him straight up. Yeah, run into DP, you get to bypass fireballs.
What a turnaround this is just from the side of Momochi, though. Like, look at the way that he is working Tokido in the corner. Usually it's the opposite way around, where Tokido is the one that puts you in the corner and goes to town, gets aggressive with it. We've seen that years upon years. No matter what character he has, with Momochi, with the fundamentals of the footsies, killing him in. As soon as I say that, Dragon Lash, side switch, level 3 immediately.
That was kind of tricky, right? He did something like a crouching jab into the delayed target combo, catching the counter hit. Now, most of the time, you kind of check a lot of players after they're done with their lights. If they can't chain anymore, you would think to yourself, it's your turn to play. So, Tokido getting all the right moves now. OD uppercut, get off from the burnout situation. Pay the toll if you want to get out of the corner, says Tokido. Put him in the trap of Jinrai. Momochi manages to jump out to regain that drive. It's not going to be enough. And, you know, that was actually a moment where I think Momochi might have been able to neutral jump, but at that range, it's hard to tell.
Yeah. Even when it came down with, like, jump heavy kick, you might have got clipped. Normal neutral jump might have worked out there better. Now caught up in the corner, Tokido, can he take this? I feel like right now, you gotta take that momentum back from the side of Momochi. Unfortunate, another ODDP waited and baited from the side of Tokido. Right to level 2. One more sequence to seal the deal.
So slick. Yeah, his primary objective was to put Momochi into burnout after that level 2, right? Being able to take at least that one bar first. Still plus frames, and he still got that shimmy against him. Momochi looking to build that drive gauge back, but if he gets chipped out, could be a problem. Okay, he's big, but still pretty tough hill to climb. Momochi OD uppercut, the big risk taken from Tokido. That has to be, I think, what, like 100% OD uppercuts? I don't even know if he got punished for any of them. Nor have we seen it that often.
You know, you mentioned, I think that was the first one that he had done, and all the other ones from Momochi got waited and baited, not Tokido's, as he moves on. And again, that style of play, using the drive rush to kind of break himself, to kind of make it ambiguous when he's going to come in. The fireball play too as well, with OD switched up too as well. The aiming for the drive gauge to get the kill. You kill the drive gauge, you kill the character. Tokido's way, working out, and again, maybe not the most optimal, maybe not the most flashy comparison to the other, you know, Ken players, but I like it. It's basic, it's fundamentals. It works out against the likes of absolute legends, and Tokido himself is a legend, taking some points for his team. Damn. Don't say nothing about your play, Tokido. You good.
He's yeah, with 100% win record, he is. I know this is really bad English, but he is truly gooder than good, man. He is excellent. He's looking like one of the bigger performers out here in the streets. I think Bonchan is tied with him in terms of, yeah, his own teammate is tied with him in terms of like the current win record. No, in points, actually. Tokido might have the best record in the league. I think he's the last man standing with an undefeated record.
Yo, of all ways to do it too as well. Maybe not, again, not the most optimal, but the most deadly right now when it comes to this Kin, bro. You listen, if it works, it works, you know? And that's like a really good thing. Just going on a slight tangent. It's good to see like some of these players, maybe not having the most optimal combos and stuff like that, but having great fundamentals. You sometimes watch players and be like, man, I wish I had those combos. But Tokido proves that you just have to be stable. And right now, Suya stability, they need that on the side of Shinobism Gaming, and they're sending out the machine that is Fujimura, the Grave Maker.
Oh boy. So we do have a pretty much a 30-point ball game for either side of the fence, if I'm not mistaken, considering Yamaguchi taking the first game, Momochi falling short in this one, or in the most recent one. So yeah, Fujimura is looking to put Sakonoko in his grave early. And it's going to be what, Ken versus Chun-Li? Alrighty. You know, we've talked about Sakonoko's Chun-Li being rather fast-paced, rather optimal in terms of the damage and also the corner carry. But if I'm not mistaken, I feel like he had a little bit of a rough shot against JP last week. Yeah, like a couple of days ago against Fenrich's JP, where he fell 0-2. I kind of wonder, like I think it's something to do with the matchup, obviously. I think Sakonoko will be much more comfortable playing against any sort of Ken, considering he knows how the game plan has been for the last couple of years. He also has one of the better Kens in the country as his teammate, so no doubt in my mind, I think Sakonoko might have the upper hand just based off that fact alone.
You know, not to downplay my character or anything like that, but I do think that Ken, I don't want to say like is beaten by Chun-Li, but definitely is given a hard time. Her normals are fantastic. Stand fierce, outranges a lot of what he wants to do, except for like stand heavy kick. Swift thrust, her command normal is a fantastic poke against a lot of his pokes too as well. And of course, crouching kick has always been blessed. And she's got fantastic corner carry. Her fireball game is really good too as well. She can walk behind it. And her walk speed can keep up with the likes of Ken. But of course, this is Ken. And if he puts you in the corner, which is going to happen, he is going to go to town no matter what character you are. And it's going to be even more difficult because she can't just backdash as a defensive, you know, option compared to other characters. Her and Honda can't backdash, you know, against, you know, the throw loop city that Ken and many other characters can put on. So it might be difficult if he gets him in the corner. But mid-screen, I think Chun-Li has a pretty decent time. I think it's probably about even. I've talked to Angry Bird about that, and he feels like around that area too.
She has something that a lot of characters don't, right? And it's a very decent option against the throws. I think you don't have to backdash, you don't have to jump, you have instant air legs. I think making a big bet on that can lead to so much, but also being able to kind of like contest against it. Like if you were to do air legs as Chun, I don't even think it's like I don't even think it's even a bad deal because you're not going to be punished for it. You're not going to be punishable, I should say. At most, if you hit towards the tail end of it, you could potentially be plus. Actually, no, at least what, -3. So yeah, I think overall you'll be just fine. If you do get punished, what, like -5 on the way down, it's like light and medium are -5 and heavy is -7. I think with air legs, it's like if you hit it at a certain angle, you can hit like towards the tail end of it to keep yourself safe. But that's something I don't know if Sakonoko has like down pat. I haven't been able to like use the training mode myself to see how to consistently get yourself at -3. But it's possible, right? If you make a decent read out of that, that could be pretty huge, especially if it's a punish counter.
Yeah, you know, it being a punish counter means lean outside the corner, possibly being able to get OK on your side of things and route things back in your hands. And there's like other options that are maybe a little bit more obvious, but like, you know, that might work out depending on how Fujimura approaches that corner play. She might be able to do like the flip kick right over, you know, stay solid and plus right there. I've seen players check and challenge that like neutral jump, but if they're maybe just waiting for something or waiting for like a crouching medium kick, that flip might be able to work out. Let's see if the script is going to be flipped in terms of Shinobism Gaming failing and faltering right now, or is Sako gonna route this back for his team?
If I see the Twitter tech of Fujimura doing a delayed standing medium punch against the flip kick, I'm gonna go nuts. But man, we talked about optimizing that Ken before. Yo, OD fireball right into the dry rush for that punish, and then immediately blocking the OD Tenshu. This guy, Fujimura, he's stealing Machiro's name. He's become Mr. Optimal. Oh, no way. That's a perfect 81 seconds on the clock, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
All fights done quick, starting Fujimura.
80% run done from the side of the Machine Master himself. And my man, I feel like I rarely ever see him drop the Jinrai kicks, maximizing his damage output from the corner. You have to stay out of there, Sako. You do have better defense, we talked about, with those air legs, but you do not want to be there. I like that punish counter, light kick, right back in, try for us, throw though. Fujimura has him in the corner, trying that light punch, the tech, Jinrai kick, nothing for the fault, but he's just resetting the situation with these throws continuously.
Oh, the deliberate movement into the hezzy, overhead into level 3. My man Fujimura, he's already dug the grave. All he has to do now is push Sako in. This guy is phenomenal with the spacing. The light damage too, like you're throwing in a couple of these lights, right? Not necessarily hitting, but also setting yourself up for a potential frame trap, then doing the delayed normal space off of what you think, or when you think Sakonoko is gonna press these buttons. Man, it's so hard to time.
And also that delay means that like Sako's gonna be careful about these ODDPs. We've already seen a punish happen. That makes it even more scary. Enhanced Satsu for a lot of Oki. The tech though, Sako going for a lot of tech. That's something that Fujimura can sniff out.
OD Tensho kicks, not gonna get the meaty drive impact from the side of Fujimura. Just held onto it. Now I don't know if he was like a net positive nor even in regards to like that whole sequence, but I think that's totally fine. Punish counter, not too hefty, right? That's the second time Fujimura has gone to that tactic of running into the step kick. OD uppercut, get off of me. But yeah, I think Fujimura taking a couple of risks with that run. Gets to confirm off the target combo, forward throw. He gets to do it again if he wanted to. If he goes for a third,
one more time.
Oh boy.
Smart option, good for the impact. Just like that. Fujimura up a game, up a round. Let's see what's going down though. I feel like Sako has a decent start, but maybe not even, to be honest. These drive rush throws have been leading Sako to the corner. Careful now. Wait for like perfect parry. Stand heavy kick. Walk up throw here from Sako. Sneaks in that low off the Serenity stance.
We could set ourselves up for level 1. No, he wants to do a frame kill after that sequence, that jump medium. Sorry, that's definitely jump heavy, my bad. Oh, that was everything for Fujimura. With the side switch, you gotta be looking for drive impact too, right?
It's possible. It's up in the corner, careful now. Don't be whipping no buttons, my boy. Don't do it. Finds the overhead, not going to level 3 just yet. Overhead again, there's the level 3.
My God.
Yes, sir.
Dude, I don't know, man. That's like 14 to 16 frames possible window to confirm it. I don't even know if that's possible, yo. But I will say it was impossible for Sakonoko, I feel like, to get out of that situation. Didn't have a level 2, didn't have any drive gates. It might have just been the actual checkmate. Now, Fujimura has already pushed Sakonoko in the grave. Do you think it's going to be enough for Sakonoko to climb his way back out with this character? Does he have a pocket character that he's been working on stream? I don't think so, right?
I don't think so. I mean, I've seen him test other characters, but I feel like those tests are to sniff out what the character does. You know, like Sako will like test out like the new characters, see what they do and stuff like that, and go immediately back to his main. I feel like he doesn't really have a secondary. The last time he's had a character was like JP, and those days have long since been gone. I feel like I haven't really seen him play anything like mainlining a character besides just Chun-Li. And honestly, Fujimura's looking way too dominant. It doesn't even feel like it's a matchup knowledge right now. It is just Fujimura running all over Sako, just staying ever optimal, and his game plan being fantastic. And I'll tell you one thing, that overhead into level 3, when you do land it, feels perfect. There's rare things that feel better than that overhead in level 3. Oof. Fujimura though, game point.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to a handful of Ken players that kind of argue that it is somewhat confirmable. It's been like on the fence. I mean, I've heard Yipe say it. I kind of just like go for it. I kind of just like hash it. But others kind of say like, yeah, I have an eye for it. I'm like, I don't know, man. That's really That's really something else. I think Richard Wynn,
really.
one of the big Versus players, put out a chart of how confirmable a lot of these normals are, a lot of these cancels are. So I think that one specifically, overhead into level 3, is not too big of a lead. So you be the judge of that.
My man's going for it. That's what I feel. I feel Sako's got him in the corner. So jab, perfect, very nice. That pickup, at least scale damage. I'm just looking for that, frame kill right there. Meaty fireball, the throw to as well. ODDP, the bust outs here. Fujimura have definitely been on point and not been snipped out from Sako. More defense, more perfect parries. I like this here from Sako.
Yeah, I do like that as well. I think, it's up to Fujimura now to kind of show off that mix off of the run and make Sakonoko pay for it. Maybe an empty run will kind of like change Sako's approach on defense to those situations. But what a stoppage. We'll talk about that in the next round. No, he dropped it. All he needed to do was do Serenity Stance light kick. Was it a range issue, perhaps?
Man.
I can't tell if it was a range
hands.
issue or not. I'm genuinely curious as to why Sakonoko decided to not go for Serenity Stance, light kick, extension into spinning vert kick. It might just very well be a range issue.
It seemed like he routed it back and immediately goes for the overhead just to switch things up, but man, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, he
a little bit closer.
He shouldn't have, like he had the kill for the confirm. He was already within range to kill.
Gotta believe. Let's try to get that back though. Nice and burnout. This is bad. Legs for days. All thighs too as well. What's the throw, but no punish though. Can't leave for free. Not against Sako, but he's gonna get hit with that level 1 side switch. And this is gonna allow Fujimura to bounce on that bar back too as well. If Sako has anything to say about that fireball, trying to follow up behind it possibly.
That's fine for Fujimura. He was hanging back for that drive gauge. Very well played with Sakonoko. He does have the life lead. He can initiate off of the fireball, but any bad read, and if Fujimura, yeah, he's looking for it already, but it's going to be Sakonoko with those big old limbs. Getting the drive, rush, cleanup afterwards. Yeah, Fujimura was looking for the fireball with the OD to kind of check, and he was already ready to kind of like dash forward too. So that was really smart of an idea, except Sakonoko was 2 steps ahead.
And it's not getting so much off these drive rush like throws, drive rush like punches. Not really working out. Sako back in business up in the corner. Drop him down. Level 3. No, oh my God. That doesn't work.
Oh. Fujimura actually wasn't ready for the side switch combo. He went for something else. We talked about how optimal he has been, but that last sequence he just did, I don't even know if it outdoes the damage of normally going for like a Dragon Lash side switch, but this is going to be just fine. And he built himself enough for a level 3. That's going to be the game no matter what. Now he's just putting the dirt on Sakonoko's body. You can see hands on his head. He knows he had it, but he had the drop. A significant drop. That's 2 in the same game.
Man, I feel like Sako was on the come up, out of the mud. He was checking and challenging the drive rush, which is hard to do up in this game, not gonna lie, no matter what age you are. But it is Fujimura that seals the deal, that saves more solid just in general. And I gotta wonder if those drops didn't happen, if we would have got another game, would that momentum have picked up for the side of Sako? He had the ideas. He was starting to put everything together against Fujimura's game plan. Those drops just cost him so much. And I feel like you kind of let yourself down a little bit more in that situation than you are, being beaten by somebody else, because those drops would have led to that pickup, that momentum. It just didn't happen. He had the idea. I see it, but it's just execution.
Yeah, and that's such a weird sentence to end it with, right? The execution on Sakonoko. He is truly one of the execution gods, but there was just something about him today that was just a little bit off, right? The level 3 was a significant drop. The Serenity Stance light kick extension or light kick link would have been enough to kill. I'm kind of curious. I kind of want to go back to CFN and check his inputs and see for myself if it was something that was deliberate in regards to at least the Serenity Stance light kick. But yeah, that's very uncommon. It's like you have a better chance of seeing a unicorn than seeing Sakonoko drop a combo, to be honest with you. But it's Shinobism Gaming. They got themselves a big 30.
They'll take it. They'll definitely take it. You know, it's wild because like going back to Sako, I mean, he started to recognize what buttons are working on the neutral. You know, really finally confirms that he needed the corner carry. I'm really curious to see what Fujimura has to say. I mean, Fujimura himself, even before they had started, had said they haven't played in like a year, and they haven't even played in Street Fighter 6 ever. So he was excited for it in the first place. But I'm curious to see what he's got to say right now. Also curious to see what Johnny's got to say. We talked about how he had the Manon. Last time you saw him in the Manon, did not work out very well. So hopefully we see one of his other characters. But Johnny right now just says, hey, thank you, Sir Fujimura. He said, Sir Fujimura. He put a little bit of love on there. Thank you, Sir Fujimura. Professionalism.
Yeah, that's I mean, with the way that Fujimura has been playing, we talked about some of the higher point earners and higher point records, or just like game records overall. Yeah, Fujimura is definitely within the upper echelon of wins. He's got 5 out of 6 now, if I'm not mistaken, getting himself 60 points, right? He's been in the anchor position for this very moment. And we kind of talked about that, right? We kind of prefaced this whole thing with why not put Fujimura as the anchor spot? Well, Shinobism Gaming, they learned their lesson. They got themselves the big 30 bomb, which puts them currently above Good 8 Squad. Actually, Good 8 Squad is at the deficit by 5 points. 5 points.
I don't want to jinx anything. I don't want to curse anything. But imagine Good 8 Squad don't make it into the second section, bro. Imagine that's what happens. Reigning champions don't make it in. Somehow they get pushed down. I'm going too far, but I'm just. It could happen. It could very well happen.
Yeah, it's a fair thing to think about, right? It's been completely unpredictable. It's a brand new game, after all. It's not necessarily going to be any sort of like repeats or expectations of repeats from previous seasons, just because of the fact that it's a new game. Taking a look at that roster as well, right? There's a lot of characters, or a lot of players on there that are kind of just like hands above their head. They're like, what character should I be playing? You know, like Gachiku barely got his character back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will say that it will be a shame if Good 8 Squad doesn't make it to the second half, because, you know, as time progresses, we're going to get more in-depth strategies on how to play like some of the newer characters, right? I think that would be just an utter shame if we actually didn't see it. Not to play favorites though. I love this for Shinobism Gaming, right? Just kind of clearing the path for themselves little by little, hurdle over hurdle. They don't want to be anywhere near that borderline of getting cut out, so it's good on them getting all these points. But taking a look at what we were talking about earlier with the teams, Yamaguchi, he talked about his first round. He said the first round was very unlucky for me. We talked about him kind of playing the slower game against Ryusei, but the second round he felt was great, and riding that momentum, it just makes sense, right? Momochi, he had mentioned it as well. He says, I'm not at the best condition yet, but my teammates kept us winning. So that's obviously that's pretty important for Momochi to kind of make that assessment. He understands what needs to be done. Fujimura, we got the orders correctly. I faced Chun-Li multiple times. He had it down pat. He was already ready.
Yeah. So this is exactly what I wanted. And honestly, they got the order ready for themselves too as well. As we preface, Fujimura at the very end and the anchor position is where I think he needs to be. If Momochi is not ready, if he is not steady, put up Fujimura, your biggest point earner, your strongest player right now. I feel like leaps and bounds. Put them in the anchor position if need be to equalize things, to like have that first one, or just close it out, right? And then let the other team come behind, the Vanguard come behind. But right now, if we look at the stats of ODDPs, were fantastic with the side of Fujimura. I feel like that really helped set up the pace, and maybe that also led into Sako's pensiveness and some of these drops and things like that. Disrupting neutral every so often with those ODDPs, that wears upon you. Getting hit by those ODDPs will definitely wear upon you. So 4 out of 4 on the side of someone who is a legend in terms of like a 2D god themselves. Sako is nothing to sniff at. Fujimura with a lot of ODDPs. I feel like that helped wear upon Sako to lead up to these executional errors and mishaps possibly happening.
And look at this, man. Sakuroko ate 9 throws total, right? Only successfully taking 5 out of the 14. 9 throws, man. Punish, counter, regular hit, etc. That could be an entire round. I don't know if my math is correct on that one, but it could almost be an entire round, right? That's pretty significant. considering how often Ken can get these throw loops on you. So I think that also was a pretty big deal. But overall, man, the presence in mind to try to find that option out of there is better, easier said than done. We talked about that earlier, right? Some of the things that Chun-Li can do. I'm very surprised we actually didn't see the air legs tried out once, you know. But either way, as it stands, Shinobism Gaming 30 points to FAV Gaming's 10, being able to do some significant damage to the Giants currently in first place.
Good stuff to Shinobism Gaming. Routing it back, it was looking real dire for them. They were only 5 points away from Hiroshima Team Itsuka surpassing them. We'll see what happens with Hiroshima if they get that 40 ball, but that's going to be way later on down the line. What's not down the line is me picking up some of this merch, bro. I'm still waiting. Capcom, I'm checking my mail every single day. I'd wear the hat. Okay, I've admitted that I would wear the jury hat. All right, I'll become part of the Foot Clan, whatever it needs to be. All right, let me have some of this merch. I'd show it off on stream. Come on.
I'm gonna let you talk about this one as well, man. I've already got mine. I'm cool. I'm all right.
Yeah,
I'm all right, brother.
Must be nice because I don't have this either. Yo, Capcom, once again, send them over. Amazon, you can pick them up on Amazon Japan. Hopefully they actually have them in the US. Like, real deal. I'd like to see more of these designs come over to the US and be sold because, like, maybe during Capcom Cup we can see people wearing them, or even at just other events, stuff like that too. You know, as we've seen Street Fighter League Japan being supported by Capcom on the official restream, I saw that, or on the normal streams, I saw that happen this weekend with you and Sajam while you were commentating. That popped up, and I was like, yeah, we do that right there, Street Fighter League. So hopefully we get some of that more promotion like over here in the US, just like thrown on Amazon on the US side of things, or even EU too as well.
Yeah, that'd be cool to kind of just see like a unification of all of the Street Fighter merch that goes on through the line for like Street Fighter League Japan, especially with the graphic coming up, right? We actually have this particular graphic being showcased on some of the t-shirts that the casters or the commentators are currently wearing. And I will say that's the one piece of merch that's like, yo, man, this is like custom artwork that I really would love to rock out at any event, right? Give me one of those bad boys in large, please. I'm definitely going to be wearing that, not even just for events. Like, I would wear that on a normal basis. Give me that in a large, yo, I let the oversized tee kind of fit. This is exactly what I would wear. And you guys, again, if you are in Japan, I highly encourage you guys to check it out yourselves. If you guys want to check out where the store is, I think the easier way to do it is at Capcom_esports to be able to follow them on Twitter. They have links to everything that you could ever ask for. We've gotten our first match out of the way between Shinobism Gaming and FAV Gaming. Up next, after this, we're going to have DetonatioN FocusMe against NAGOYA, Oja, Body Stars. Surprisingly enough, both of these teams still below the border. You don't want to miss it. In fact, get yourself some snacks, get yourself some drinks, stay hydrated, and also stay refreshed in general. We'll be back with more Street Fighter League action right after this quick message. Don't go nowhere.
ではこの後は試合準備のために一度インターバルを取らせていただきます。20時6分、8時6分からは第8節マッチ2デトネーションフォーカスミー対名古屋王者ボディスター、こちらの模様をお届けいたします。それでは一旦失礼いたします。
漢方薬の材料どれだったかな。ああ、これですね。多分。じゃあお味見をどうぞ。はい、えいその量で1000人ぐらい死ぬ毒もありますよ。ボツリヌストキシンアセチルコリン放出を阻害し間性麻痺による脱力感。めまい視力異常。まぶたが垂れ下がり喉が渇き声が出ない。嘔吐下痢腹部膨満そして呼吸困難から心肺停止。
基本的に SA 打ってきた時は絶対打った方がいいですね。そうです。光ったイコールもうこうやるとこうめちゃめちゃ取れた。しかもこう走ればもう大ダメージも取れるみたいな。押しっぱ。その光ってください。なるほどね。これすごい大事です。だから相手が SA イコールパリなんですが例外もあります。投げの SA の時をジャンプしないといけないという。それ以外は全部もう全部パリ。これ逆にこれ熱いんですけどジャストパリすると補正が乗ってコンボ安くなるんでジャストパリ絶対にしちゃダメです。そうなんや。
People, we are back with more Street Fighter League action here on the official restreams. My name is Senko. I'm joined with Vicious, and we have Team Detonation, FocusMe, versus Nagoya Oja Body Star coming up as
今回
our
特別に
next
音声
match.
いけるということで
Two
行きましょう
bottom
ここから
teams
マッチ2の模様をお届けし
as
てい
many
き
points
ま
as
す
possible because they
早
are
速マッチと
below
戦う
the
両チ
bottom
ームをご
line
紹介
and they're
ま
not
ずはレ
fine.
ッドサイド
We'll
選手
see
入場で
who's
す
going to come up on the deck first. It's going to be Team Detonation. Explosive on the screen. Okay, let's go. The attack on Heavy Tank himself, Fudo, helping to lead the charge out here with that Sim and DJ, the long limbs. And after that is the Windy Trickster himself, John Takeuchi, with that baby face, but that old man gameplay. Right after that is the Shipyu Jinrai. That is the man, Naoman, the Evo Japan champion, on that cannon. Maybe Luke too as well. Last but not least is the meal ticket himself, Itabashi Zangief, running that top tier out here. I'm just kidding. Okay, Geef is a top tier. But we've seen the waves that can come through with that character from the side of Snake Eyes. We'll see what happens out here at Street Fighter League Japan.
Man, this guy, he getting out of his way to call Snake Eyes cousin after that. That's pretty cool. Hey, you know what else is cool? This team right here, Nagoya Oja Body Star coming in full effect. Starting things off with the High Priest himself, Torimeshi. The amazing Dawson play that we could ever ask for. That ain't Bomberbon, it's KB now, who's coming in with a newly reformed JP, by the way. Of course, the professor, as fast as his lectures are, man, he hits as hard as he can with that Kimberly as well. Lightning fast, speaking of speed, it's the speedster himself. It's Akira coming in with a big old smile and the standing. Don't be fooled, by the way. That is not a golf swing. That is definitely Cammy's standing heavy punch. Gotta recognize it, man. That's Akira's favorite move in Cammy's tool set. But yeah, Nagoya Oja Body Star versus Detonation FocusMe. Let's talk about the point situation in just a little bit, right? Both of these teams currently pretty much under the borderline to stay fine, as you would so mention it. We're still looking for the top 6 teams. Nagoya Oja Body Star currently stuck at 50 points. Detonation FocusMe is currently sitting at 20. But they had somewhat of a slight push from the last time we've seen them. Detonation FocusMe were able to at least get themselves 10 points through the hands of Nauman through that very Ken. Now he's going to be going up front against my man Torimeshi, who's been, I feel like, one of the more bigger, he's been like the biggest threat, I feel like, as Dawson in the Vanguard spot.
I think his sim is fantastic. It's hard to pin down. We talk about that flighty sort of style where he is always with that movement, always moving around the screen, never in one spot. If he's on the ground moving around, he's in the air, and that movement is very calculated when he wants to place the buttons and things like that, making him a difficult opponent to calculate when he's going to land and things like that. Now, man, he's going to have his work cut out for him, but I do think this isn't the worst matchup for the side of Ken. I remember like a month ago asking, yo, what does Ken do against Dawson, bro? I don't know how to get against this character. And a lot of people are like, bro, just anything you want, because the minute you get in, it's the end for Sim, right? The lacking defense that this character has definitely comes into play, especially against like the throws and things like that. He doesn't have wake-up Gale like he used to. He doesn't have the same wake-up options or defensive options, and his damage potential isn't always there compared to 5. So it's going to be a little more difficult for Sim, I think, up in this matchup. And I think that Ken could fight him in the mid-range. You've got OD Fireball. That definitely helps out to start the party. His limbs are more whip punishable. You know, sweep is 8 frames, so that's definitely an answer against some of the limbs of Sim. And now, Min, as you put it, one of the biggest point owners for the team, if not the biggest, I think. Pretty big opportunity for him to get more on the board. Kind of wanted to see him go up first, though. I thought, you know, Nauman being one of the bigger point owners, maybe better to send him in the anchor position. But hey, maybe this will get that energy going and flowing that they need to get more points on the board and start the party off right.
Perhaps, man, but you do have a very valid point. Not only is he the biggest point earner, he is the only point earner on the side of Detonation FocusMe, right? The 20 points that they have as a team, all from Nauman, taking down 2 out of the 3 games that he's currently a part of. But yeah, I think it's a valid point, right? We talked about that from the way that Shinobism Gaming was sending up Fujimura, right? Like, why send up your highest point earner early, and why not test them out as the anchor, right? So yeah, Nauman still has yet to touch that spot of going into the anchor positioning, but that leaves us with the question of who would actually be the anchor. It could very well be Fudo as well. I think that's a very strong candidate in Fudo. John Takeuchi, I feel like, as confident as I am with his work ethic and his efforts in training, I don't think the Rashid is up to snuff just yet. Then I feel like with Itabashi Zangief, Zangief's a wild card, man. I will say this. I think this character is kind of tough still to pilot, Snake Eyes is a miracle worker. I understand the agenda, I understand the propaganda, but in reality, I think there's a lot that really needs to be done as a player to navigate this character to success. So, with that in mind, I think Nauman, he would be a fair choice for being anchor, but I wouldn't be surprised if they left that spot towards Fudo.
That makes some sense to me. You know, Fudo also having two characters that could operate, but we'll have to see what happens. Because right now, Nauman says the situation tells us everything. Winning is the only way to the second stage. Tormeshi says this is the first time playing with Nauman in Street Fighter 6. I'm excited to face him with that sim. Not letting him in with that crouching light punch, and finds a yoga upper. Tormeshi off to a fantastic start.
I love that, yeah. Either way, with the stand block, still being able to utilize the drive reversal to create that space. And I love, ooh, that could have been so much worse for Torimeshi and Nauman. Like two ships in the night just passing through each other. Didn't even know it.
The float, light punch. I like that punish. They gotta have a punish for these float states. But wait, Torimeshi finds a side switch. The jump in, one more hit will seal the deal. Perfect parry. Can he get it? Again, gotta get against this character. You work your magic, drive reverse. So typical in combat, and he falls to the fireball. Quick on the draw to make him fall. Torimeshi with that yoga fire.
Yeah, that was an attempt from Nauman to go for an OD fireball, but too little too late, to be quite honest with you, especially if it happened to hit. He was at such a life deficit there. I don't think it would have been like a huge time turner, but now it's going to be Torimeshi getting the side switch, but more importantly, getting the Schmicks Yoga Inferno coming into play, stepping up with a very aggressive Yoga Fire, by the way. Yes, sir. Speaking of aggressive, yo, Torimeshi shut down that offense 2 times over, 3 times over, with a big smile on his face. He's like, what is you doing, fam? You see the fireball coming out. You know the speed. I got my radar just in case, man. I'm going to be making sure you're going to be caught in the speed trap. No way you're going to drive rush for free.
No reckless driving out here. Shouts to Automatic. See, there's that OD fireball trying to get the party started, but as soon as I say that, actually Nauman does. Doubling down with the throws. Can you get another one? No. Wake up, dive kick. We've seen that years upon years. Even better out here with the punish counter. Torimeshi running it back in his hands. Again, the thing with Sim is you're trying to put things like, it feels like every situation is like reset. So you have to figure out how to get back the momentum in your hands. I remember Zephyr talking about that. Look at the side switch, immediately jump fears. Nice challenge on the drive rush though. Side switch with the Dragon Lash. Up in the corner you go.
Oh, that was the delay on the continuity punch. It was a counter hit, but he wasn't able to get anything out of it, or at least wasn't able to get the standing heavy punch off of it. Fireballs up, yeah, create that space. Drive rush forward, does get the punish counter on the attempted parry from Nauman. Now he's drained out, but it's going to be Torimeshi who's going to be hanging on by a slight threat. Any big hit from Ken might kill the Yogi.
Could happen. In that range to run BP, not gonna happen, not for free. The side switch again. Torimeshi never in one place at one time. He's on set point right here. And I feel like the rush downs coming from the side of Sim of all things. Ribison of Street Fighter 5. He's got that level 3 at the bottom. That means he can deal a ton of damage if need be. Oh, what a punish.
Drive rush forward, checking the movement as well. That drive impact was sniffed out. Man, he wasn't gonna wait for the knees to drop. No, sir, that's gonna be huge. Yeah, get some of that drive gauge back. Take some of Torimeshi's while you're at it. Can't really do much here. You have to just walk it out.
Fireballs again. This is a burnout Baron, bro. I'm telling you. Back in business has the chance for a reversal if need be, like OD Fireball. No drive rush after these perfect parries from the side of Nauman. He is not ready to capitalize. Does find the drive rush stand fierce, but nothing after it. No Dragon Lash to get the knockdown. Too far for the medium too as well. Gotta make something happen, bro. He's in level 3.
Torimeshi, yeah, he's not going to be able to, or sorry, Nauman's not going to be able to pursue anything while in Burnout. I think Dawson is definitely one of the unique characters that still gets away pretty well while being in Burnout because of the way he's designed. The only way to kind of really capitalize on that situation is if you're already on top of him, right? Making sure you're pretty much point blank, you have him in the corner, you're limiting his options for movement. But yeah, one false swipe, if you happen to miss, he will take advantage of that with a teleport out of the corner or even a float to the other side. He has so many different options of getting out. So that's really tough. It's really tough for Nauman to pursue, and you can kind of see it too with the way that he's been playing.
The more and more that character gets the lead, the harder it is to chase him down. It feels like, especially in the hands of Torimeshi, who has, from looking at this, really found his way with the character. I feel like this is the most aggressive I've seen Torimeshi in general, even from his streams, CFN and stuff like that. I feel like the comfortability is there, but more importantly, the setups, the continuous amount of resets in terms of Riley neutral back in his hands. Okay, I get this knockdown. Let me go for a teleport, a bait, a little bit of punish right here with the jump medium into medium punch. Maybe this all doesn't lead into like a ton of damage, but what it does is it chips away, so it gets that lead. It forces Nauman to come to him to get the win. And one thing I want to talk about are those anti-airs that were definitely on point on the side of Nauman, or actually I'm sorry, should say Torimeshi. It's a pretty decent anti-airs, but also just I wish there was a stat for baits, a stat for drive rush light punch, a stat for falling into fireballs and things like that. I don't know how you would calculate that, but it felt like Nauman was running into projectiles consistently, and all this has led up to his health going like this, and then you have to make the return over seat. How do you do that against Sim when you have no health, barely any bar, at the time you're in burnout? I don't know what you do, but that's Torimeshi's gameplay.
A very, very swift 2-0 game plan towards the side of Torimeshi. I'm telling you, man, in regards to his overall stats, it may not be the best, but when you put him in the initial position as the Vanguard, he is currently 100%. Like, he's always been like the initial stopper for a lot of these teams. And I think historically, taking a look at Nagoya Oja Body Star, right? Let me take a look one more time before I make a statement. Yeah. The last time that Torimeshi, he went up first, I think that was in week number 4, and his team ended up winning it, right? Torimeshi went up, Akira went second, Banbaban, actually no, he lost that one, never mind. Well, there goes my idea, but overall he's been 100% in terms of being first. I thought JP's, or KB's JP took down Dogura's DJ, but that was my mistake. I will say this though, this is going to be huge in momentum for Nagoya Oja Body Star, but even more pressure, I think, if we really want to highlight it, more pressure towards DetonatioN FocusMe, as they're currently at the bottom of the barrel.
Man, and this is not going to be fun for the young trickster. This is Rashid, but in this game, this Rashid doesn't have the best anti-airs. How many times have we heard Rashid players say, bro, my anti-airs are not that good? And honestly, it's because a little bit on the slower on the draw, you have to get more predictive with it. And the angles are kind of weird, and you're coming against a character, it's someone that loves to jump, and a character that loves to run those dive kicks, those jump ins and things like that to get their win. It's going to be hard. I wonder what John Takuji is going to showcase to deal with the dive kicks, the jump ins from side of Akira, because they're not going to allow for gas at all.
Yeah, it is a little funky, but OD spinning mixer is going to be invincible on frame, like the initial frame, but trying to do it without OD, trying to do it without bar, just kind of like raw, that's where it gets a little bit tricky, right? It's only going to be invincible to airborne strikes at like the 6th frame, but even so, it's still, it has to be timed like perfectly. There are some funky spots where you actually can't him out of it, so that's it's really unfortunate when it happens. But I think the last couple of like Rashid players that I've been playing, that I've been watching stream, mostly like JB, they've kind of cleaned up their timing mostly, and I haven't really seen that be a problem as much, or they've kind of accustomed themselves to using OD spinning mixer rather than just the raw one. So I think overall Rashid players are now in a pretty decent spot in regards to what they want to use for anti-airs. In fact, we got to see that this past weekend, if I'm not mistaken, right? We got to see JB, the Hamburglar, use Rashid and find some pretty decent success with some of these anti-airs. And the potential mixturization that we've seen from Rashid, I'm really excited to see like some of the mains really start to progress with this character. On the offhand though, Akira's Kami, the more that he progresses with that character, man, the more of a problem it is. I see some stuff that he puts out on Twitter. It's like, dude, he is slowly but surely figuring out what to do against every character.
And that stability with his gameplay is going to make him just even more of a nasty threat. And the way that he plays, he's so hard to read up on wake up to dive kick, and the fact that she gets so much off a dive kick, punish counter, even counter hit, leads into so much, Oki and things like that. leads into damage chipping away at you. Is going to be problematic. So I'm curious to see what John Takuchi has in terms of, the grounded gameplay. I feel like isn't that bad. Like neutral grounded gameplay, buttons wise, even though he's a little bit stubby. Whatever, war on stand medium kick. If he's close up for stand medium punch. Stand fierce is actually not that bad of a button. As you put it, that corner pressure that he's had. I've seen Big Bird, JB, and the rest have some very nasty mixes and deal a lot of damage. That's kind of why I feel like it's kind of okay to not have the best anti-airs in the business, like where you have to be predictive and you're having to maybe hyper focus on that, because when you get the knockdown into the corner, it is damn near over, considering what Rishi players can output and kind of mix they can put on you. Let's see if John Takuchi has that, if you make that happen against Akira.
Yeah, I think, it's funny you say that about Rashid. If I were to kind of like listen to it mid-conversation, it also sounds like you're talking about Cammy, because she can almost do the same thing, right? What a stop to the drive rush already, starting things off perfectly for Akira. But as soon as I say that, the commentators curse, throwing up the drive impact where it shouldn't be, or at least not for John Takeuchi. He was ready for it. But again, the stoppage on the drive rush, but that was preemptive. Akira had already thrown out the low medium kick before the drive rush had started.
Sampier's in at that drive rush situation. DP ender, yes sir. Akira faster on the draw right now, and it feels like being able to stop drive rush, that's going to be problematic. John Takuchi has to find a different way in. No, backed up, found the stand fierce. Slight little shimmy right there. No DP though on that jump.
Oh, that's huge. This goes for the HP spinning mixer. Gets a block at a time. Parry it even better. John Takeuchi, you silly man. Missed his big opportunity for the drive impact, man. Listen, I don't know what else to say about that. I think Akira is going to be way more focused and pretty much zoned in on his target, more so than John Takeuchi after that big mishap.
100%. Yassar could be online real soon here. There it is. When you're in burnout, hard to have to hold. Definitely help him put the bar back on his side. Oh, stand fierce, nothing really after it. Oh, the mixer for the fall. Yeah, you get the enhanced version of the dive kick right after. Heavy mixer. One more hit will seal it. Can you get that impact? Yo, runs a super raw.
I like that.
I
do appreciate that from Akira. And to be fair, I think John Takeuchi, again, just a little bit off the mark in regards to getting the punch right. That was like the biggest thing that he could have asked for. And even towards the end, I will say that he could have gotten the throw if Akira sat still just for a little bit. But at that moment, it's like, I don't blame Akira for going for the super, because it could have been like more chip damage. It could have been a drive impact. John Takeuchi just had just a little bit of bar left.
Okay, now the forward medium punch in play after that drive rush. I like that option. Some of these normals have been kind of checking and challenging, but I think the command normals from Rashid are pretty dang good. Back went for that dive kick. No, he put himself in the burnout. There we go. We go for the air throw. Can't always go for that anti-air. We got the air throw and we got the drive impact. No follow-up trying to be set for the drive impact again with the neutral jump. Deny that. Side switch. Actually, it's out of there.
I was going to say, like, having that meaty DI is everything, but when you mistime it, the opponents are able to either throw it or even get out of the way just for the jump. Already built back that drive gauge. It's Akira. We do get the forward throw. John Takeuchi bringing it back now. Isar, level 2, is coming out, dashing behind it. When will he kick it towards the opponent? And right there, I don't know what it was from Akira. Did you see that? Akira had actually, he's done a throw. He just threw out the throw. The animation was there and he got punished for it.
I baited. Maybe he thought, he was going to dash forward. Look at that perfect spacing right there for the meaty mixer right there. That's fantastic. It's not John Takeuchi. Yeah, back up to make sure, and also back up that crouching meaty kick to hit against the spin knuckle. Kira overstepping his boundaries a little bit. On the follow-up. Bro, how is he on point with these air-to-airs?
So clean. What a cleanup from John Takeuchi. We see the potential now. Again, we talked about what it is about Rashid that makes him kind of like a trickster. He has so many different avenues to mix you up. And he even says after his Arabian Cyclone, if he goes for any of the follow-ups, the airborne one, he literally shouts out, mix up. Like that's the character, bro.
But I like the way, like the place where John Takuchi's standing. He backs up enough where it feels like Akira has to like dash up to do a jump or whatever. Enough space to deliberate when he needs to hit that anti-air, whether it be medium mixer, jump medium, jump throw, whatever it may be. And we saw the medium punch into the dive kick lead up to as well from the side. John Takuchi, like, if maybe the anti-airs aren't perfect or they're a little bit more timed or predictive, he kind of goes Akira into jumping. He's like, okay, come on, come do this. The spin knuckle also didn't work out, so I'm wondering if that also kind of forced Akira to jump. He's like, my entry point of spin knuckle didn't really work out, and my driver assistance already isn't that good, so let me jump. John Takuchi calling him out 3 times, and again, as you said, I see the potential of this character. I get it now.
Yeah, it's still kind of early, right? It's only been like a month now, perhaps less than, because again, he actually no, it was like right before Evo. My mistake. Man, what a bait out!
Off in the corner, gonna be a bailout, brother. Hold this, throw on the punish counter. Parry finds the crouching medium kick though. We're out of there. Oki dash up. The light this time, no crouching medium punch. We're getting these knockdowns in the corner carry. This is why this character can still be an absolute threat. He puts you in the corner, which will happen. He can harass you, but Akira finds defense out of there.
More than enough damage, spending the rest of that drive gate. It's going to be Akira who sets things up at match point between the two. See if he can get another big stop. Man, that was great. The forward heavy kick, being able to stop like that. I don't know if that was intentional or not. Yeah, drive rush forward, still able to get Isar right afterwards. Forward throw. Isar still in pursuit. Oh, that was a punish counter against the parry.
Medium punch. What a strike back. Akira finds his way out of the corner. Try to reset the situation with the hooligan. There's an air-to-air right there. The jump back, fade away and play. John Takuchi trying to take to the final game, and will definitely do so after this drive rush conversion. Combos perfectly. And again, John Takuchi trying to gain his bearings. He just has to worry about like getting caught walking back. Honestly, that's when Akira's being able to route it back. You know, not checking his toes. Crouching medium kick. Nice counter at the forward heavy kick. I feel like that's also checking and challenging the crouching medium kick of Cammy.
Oh, he still gets the enhanced mixer. Gets to follow up with the kicks, and then mixer again. Look at the amount of damage you get from a triple enhanced sequence. Not as much as this level 3 though.
Age almost gone. That was gonna be a spin knuckle, but the flip out will save the day. One more sequence in play. Meaty crouching, meaty punching, finish it, but there's the ODDC. Baited again. John Takuchi gets the win. And man, just too much to think about. Not on the side of Akira this time, but on the side of John Takuchi. Preventing so many different looks, showcasing so many different things from the character. And the anti-airs too as well. Finding air-to-airs. We see the anti-airs when he backs up too as well. Okay, John Takuchi, I see that Rashid, my guy. It's looking nice.
That's kind of rough, man. That's so rough if you're Akira. There hasn't been a lot of success with the amount of time that he's been putting in, man. He hasn't found a way to gel with Cammy the way that he wants to, I think. But also, you're starting to see how much of a risk his playstyle solicits. Like, some of the risk factors that he's kind of assessing doesn't necessarily equate to the amount of reward that he could potentially get. I feel like more often than not, he's done damage against himself during some of the games that he's played to kind of deter him from getting these W's. Right? He's been on a losing streak, if I'm not mistaken. Like, Akira, he still has it in him to like figure out some of these matchups, but I think it's his eagerness that gets him at the end of the day, right? Just looking at his overall record, he hasn't had the best record. But he's grinding. He's grinding out matchup after matchup. I don't know what it is about his game style or what it is that tells him he needs to play with a sense of urgency where he doesn't need to.
I mean, like, look at the bust outs right here. Not all of them landed, and many of those were like game winning in terms of like, you know, the weight and baits from the side of John Takuchi. I feel like that eagerness on defense is what's getting him. He has a lot of attack. He has a lot of great offensive moments. We even seen the walkbacks being caught continuously, and that led to victory and some of those rounds going down. But what I feel like is the issue is that defense. That eagerness, I think, is a big pain point. He's gonna have to lock in later on. We're 10-10 now between DetonatioN and Oja Body Star. I think we send up, man, for the culture, send up E-Design. But for the victory, you probably send up Fudo.
Nah, for the victory, we're sending in Itazan. I don't know if you saw World Warrior, man. For the victory, we're sending in Itazan. Let the memes rip now. But for Nagoya Oja Body Star, I actually don't know. I didn't spoil it for myself. It's gonna be Banbaban KB. Ah, so Fudo. Man, I already wrote it in my notes. I'm like, yo, do it. Send them in. It's gonna be Fudo DJ going up against Banbaban's JP. Now this is a matchup we've literally just seen as the opener between Shinobism Gaming and FAV Gaming, between Yamaguchi and Ryusei. That didn't go by the wayside of Ryusei, that's for sure. So Banbaban, hopefully he provides a different type of look. I will say I think he's been a lot more active in checking offensive pressure, also finding the defensive measures to get himself out of offensive pressure. So we'll see if KB can do it against someone like Fudo.
Yeah, I'm curious what Fudo's going to present. We've seen him, take these characters and be more aggressive, more dash-based focus, like when we saw his Poison, right? Like he dash up, medium punch, where other Poison would hang back. He get aggressive immediately. Last time we actually saw Banbaban though, aka KB, my bad. Let me fix the name. He fought Sasamo and he won against Sasamo, so he definitely has that knowledge. We've seen him win, lose, but the last time he fought was a DJ, so Fudo's gonna have to present something a little bit different, and he could, if need be, if he needs to switch over to Sim, feels like he can get that win. Even though I feel like JP does good against Sim, like he can switch if need be, present a different look, but we'll see how that DJ play is. If it's well enough to take down KB. Right now, Fudo says, thank my teammates for letting me do the anger game, although I've not been winning. KB says, we got the order correctly. We wanted to play Fudo. This was what they wanted. But Fudo himself looking like a not unlocked character right now. A little bit more lighting in his room.
Yeah, looking at the current record that KB has against fellow DJ players. In week 4, he had fallen just a tad bit short, by the way, against Dogura, who I think is the best DJ in the current roster of Street Fighter League. And I will say that with confidence. A little bit afterwards, I believe it was Section 5. KB started off the match against Sasamo's DJ and took him down 2-1. So yeah, I think overall KB has like the right idea of what to look out for certain DJs. If he's going toe-to-toe against Dogura's DJ, I think he might have more than a fighting chance against Fudo's DJ.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, once you've lost to the highest you can find, it's only just data from there, right? For late on matches, you basically have been given the blueprint and what you need to study, what you need to do. And KB, I feel like showcasing that against Sasamo, I feel like that's going to lead him into a possible victory out here. But we'll see. I mean, Fudo. I mean, there've been matches where I watch Fudo be like, there's no way Fudo's going to win. There's no way this character can win. There's no way that he's prepared for this matchup. And he does. We see that in 5. We see it in 6 though. We see this DJ can give that different look as necessary. Anger match.
Oh, what a pickup. That was beautifully done. That was nasty. That's the first time I've ever seen that pickup happen. That was super sick. Fudo was a confirming machine.
It's a lab rat. Back to square one. Departure's out. That's what I want to see from more people against JP.
But that's so difficult to ask for, right? Because of how far the cane actually reaches and how active it can be. The Just Cool idea definitely on it, but look at the amount of comeback potential that this old man has. Set up the departure, get rid of some of the drive gauge against Fudo. This burnout is going to be imminent. Yes, sir. This is going to be KB. He could potentially get this game just based off of chip alone and set up level 2. No, there it is. Okay, I was going to say he has to set up level 2 real soon. Oh my God, what was that from Fudo? Ooh.
Round 2. It was going to be game over either way, but still, KB with the victory. But I like that. Don't leave anything to chance. That's going to be the tail of the tape for in reverse for other people today, where they kind of leave things to chance and don't spin the bar or don't finish the plate. KB decides to run that level 2. Get that bar back. We've seen this character build up bar with the quickness. Is that Just Cool? Again, I feel like if you present different looks, that Just Cool is going to hit more often than not, but you can't just swing it out aimlessly like you put it.
No, you really cannot, because if you start to get read by it, you can also get drive impacted, right? There's a handful of counters that characters can do. But, you know, yeah, don't even get me started with what JP specifically can do against Just Cool, because there are a good amount of options, especially with his reach. Oh my God, he is going in. That's it.
Jumps in for the Crystal Slash for the finish. KB with the first victory. And honestly, we've talked about this as a continuous part of fighting the DJ, or just JP versus DJ anyway. Crouching medium punch. How are you checking and challenging drive rush? That is the best button to do so, it feels like. The reward, the stopping, fantastic.
I agree. I agree. Gonna be anti-airs already. The first time we've seen OD Amnesia thus far. Yeah, so yeah, Fudo going in just for the double jab is gonna be fine, but KB, he's like, you know, I'm not too worried about that. That neutral jump medium punch also is such a big deterrent against a lot of people. And you see him kind of buffering down to kind of tease the idea that maybe he's gonna throw out a special move, maybe not, maybe an OD Amnesia, who knows, but he's ready for it, right? He's just trying to tease Fudo to come on in, use that drive gauge, I dare you. You can't anymore, you're already in burnout, fam.
What a way to kill the drive gauge by, you know, forcing them to make that movement and then making them waste that bar. Again, reckless driving the area right there. You're on burnout, so it's one hit to do it. One OD goes, he's looking for it. Or a simple anti-air. Fudo back in business. Oh no, where was the OD ghost to chip him out?
Where was OD anything, right? He could have done OD spike
really.
up close, he could have done OD ghost. Fudo was definitely the definition of clutch in that particular round. And KB, he froze. Like a deer in the headlights. He's just looking at him. It's like, what am I supposed to do? This life lead was mine. You should be backing away. Like, why are you not scared of my buttons, man?
Fortunate. It's cool. HIROSHIMA with crouching medium kick. That gets a walk back. Back to neutral. Now KB on the back foot. Anti right there with a level 1. It's going to help build up some of that drive gauge. KB's drive gauge not so buffed out as it was previously. So is his health. Fudo, the harasser. Oh yeah, perfect parry punish.
Scenario after that has to guess. And KB tried to jump after the initial stand jab, but it caught his pre-jump frames. There's gonna be a lot of damage on board, but the drive gauge also in danger. We're gonna dash up first as Fudo, and we're gonna see what happens afterwards. He is chipping away at the drive gauge. The sweep is there for KB. He can't block anymore though.
So level 2 to save himself. Fudo gets caught, it's a little bit of damage. We wake up with the 4-frame with the quickest button in the business, and Fudo takes the victory. And it feels like KB had great defense prior. In fact, in the first round, he was perfect parrying, normal parry, walking Fudo down. I don't know what happened to break him down. The drive gauge gone, getting opened up continuously. Don't get so good.
Fair, I think Fudo had showed off some of his great defense against some of the block strings that KB had as well. And also just maintaining his charge. Man, we talked about the throw bait potential too. JP, he's got so much. And I love that trade for KB more often than not. I do like the trades of having the other person spin bar and take the damage.
Less gauge means less parries, less defense, and more time for the Baron to burn out to work his magic. Here we go, though, up in the corner. You see OD Amnesia, not just yet. KB looking for the right time. Maybe try to go for crouch mirrors, anti right there, a little bit late. Sweep, the raw stuff. Works out, KB working at level 2. Won't get a chance to utilize it, just dead.
That's actually the first time I've ever seen him do a 2 crouch jab sequence, then delay the crouch jab and whiff. Right? We rarely get to see some of these high-level players whiff in that manner, and we've seen the amount of expertise Fudo has in his whiff punish game. And look at the amount of damage he gets forward throw. This is looking like a Fudo round for sure.
Oh, hella Fudo.
Let me be wrong. Let me be wrong.
Beat the allegations right here, right now. Perfect KO with an extra side oxtail. Fudo taking another game. And then offense is starting to steamroll the likes of KB. OD Amnesia not working out. Perfect parries, normal parries not working out. We've seen throw at the drive rush continuously to blow that up.
To be fair, if he didn't pass the rhythm allegations, I don't think he'd be a married man. Let's be honest. He's got that swag to him, man. So tricky too. Yeah, drive on in there. You can see the sense of urgency now from KB. He's playing a little bit more aggressively than previously seen. Oh,
Nice. Great drive impact. Something you can definitely do against this character. You know, his buttons are definitely drive impactable. That crouching medium kick is one of those. Try to get that meaty pierce to not time it right. Drive Russian against with the throw. I think we saw the sway, I believe. Recovery on that.
it's getting nuts. Oh, look at the amount of damage too. Going for the carry off the jackknife. That corner carry is so much. The punish counter too far to get the extension into the sweep. No links here. Fudo has to find another way to keep KB in this corner. No, sir, not like that. They'll drive impact after the 2 standing jabs, knowing full well the old man was coming towards him. You have to spend the level 3. This burnout is going to be so severe. This has to be another Fudo round.
Could be, but there is level 1 at the bottom if need be. If you find a gap, I don't know what's going to happen like that. Normal amnesia doesn't matter here for Fudo in that chip sort of situation. No dip, that's it. The side of Fudo, he is cooking KB up these corner situations and putting him in burnout too consistently. KB with a better start here.
Yeah, this is a very positive start for JP, right? We get a lot of that damage on deck, just about 50%, but mostly this positioning is so great. I don't know what it is, but KB, he's reluctant to pursue again after that. I don't know what he's looking for, but that's the second instance where he was so hesitant on throwing out a limb.
Looking for ODDP possibly, but Fudo, the fact that Fudo's so ready to route it back, but let me fix my face right now. I'm in the corner space. Dog corner, level 1 will get it done, and KB puts himself on game point. That was a massive problematic drop, but KB routes it back. That could have been bad. There was definitely a future where we see a 3-1, but final game between the two now.
Yeah, that was actually kind of spooky.
At the very least.
I think for KB, yeah, this final game is going to be so important, I think, for both teams. Even though there's like a 30-point differential going into this team battle, I think overall they need as many points, obviously, as they can going into phase 2. The Psycho Ghost coming out from the side of JP, but it's going to be so difficult to move Fudo, or at least to force Fudo back from where he's currently sitting at.
KB now making the most of giving every opportunity where we didn't really see that previously. Look at that teleport and heavy kick. Even if he doesn't even, find these conversions, he's close enough and he's pressuring Fudo and killing that drive gauge. Can't neutral jump. There's 2 right there. Buy one, get one free. Oh, what an anti-air.
With the anti-air. Oh, the big punish counter as well. Not big in damage, but big in positioning and momentum. Now KB trying to check the drive rush. I do like the awareness too. Crouching jab into the cane swing. The Goon Squad out here coming to play. And he manages to land the drive reversal. Fudo with an anti-air again. I don't know what that was, but the startup was just cool. That's going to be just enough. No, yes it is. I didn't actually think you could juggle after that. Wow. That was actually crazy. KB, look at that match point.
Why I just found out that this character can do even more up in the corner. More extensions off the Crystal Slap. You got it. KP optimizes this character and again, making the most out of every opportunity. Can he close it now? Can he seal the deal? Travis crouching medium kick to challenge the walk back to the side of Fudo. When Fudo tries to slow things down, he's out of there. KB, you can't even see me. The teleport.
Drive rushes his turn. Be aggressive. He gets to punish the air slasher, the heavy version against them, and now he's going to be in burnout. Fudo is stuck. KB, he's backing away. He's not going to be in hot pursuit. He's forcing Fudo to take some of this damage and to chase him down. You thought you could get an overhead? Not today, yo. Fudo, as expensive as this is, man, is the damage worth.
It's real good. KB on the verge of victory. Fudo forced it back up, has no bar, is almost there. The drive gauge, can run it back, finds it, just punish, just cool, just punish, and that's just it. There we go, Fudo. Again, slipping in that just cool light kick. We've seen that be punished. We've seen it already drive rush thrown, but now we see it slipped in once again. Final game, final round.
Looking at the current advantages, KB has 1 bar to his name. This could lead to a lot, but also the big punish counter off of the tip of the roundhouse, getting the full punish counter. Not going to go for the knee shot instead. The grounded approach. OD clips him and also double time over because of him being in OD amnesia, right? He still had the bomb on him.
See, people go for that, the jab and the throw right after. KB knew what to do, finds a punish. He's got the lead. Fudo has to make a desperate comeback right here, trying to get that just cool. Did not hit this time. Air to air right there, drops it down with the jump fears. Sit back down, says KB.
Oh, and that's so difficult too. KB gets to set up the departure and move on in. The teleport is there. The trade, even better for KB. He still has one bar, right? So we saving it for defense, but he's a little bit low on the drive gauge. He doesn't want to commit to anything OD, but he might be forced to. It's Fudo making the big connection off of that roundhouse. Double jackknife over, roundhouse again, starting to chip away the drive gauge. Gets a connection. He could go into level 2. I wonder if this is gonna kill.
Oh, he's got the greatest so far for the finish. He built a bar. At the very last second, he built that bar. Get that final level 1 to get it done. Damn. You talk about how optimal KB is. Bro, Fudo at that very end, clinching it. What a match. What a match.
That was actually kind of disgusting. Yeah, him going for the combo drop into the linked crouching medium punch, right? Being able to get that connection and build even more off of that, that was clutch, right? Crouching medium punch into the jackknife just in time for the level 1. Man, it looks like KB got beat up in real life with the way that his glasses were tilted. Also, that was a lot. It's like, wow, what a combo. Wow.
So I can't hate, bro. Like, you got me, bro. You kind of pieced me up in the corner. But honestly, I like that switch up from Fudo. We see like bursts of aggression every so often. And that optimization that needed to be there previously, sometimes I guess, from both sides, was more often decided Fudo to seal the deal. I mean, KB had some great moments too as well. Can't deny that, you know, he had some great optimization at the very end using that crouch fierce after that crystal slash. I didn't even know you could do that. That's great. I'm gonna write that down in my notes. But the fact that Fudo routes it back, slipping in that just cool every so often, even if it's not hitting, it's more things for KP to think about. What I'm thinking about is Fudo taking that victory. DetonatioN getting some more points on the board. DetonatioN, maybe historically not the biggest point earners, never really making it into the playoff sort of deal. NAGOYA Ojibwe was the ones that previously did, but DetonatioN may be the ones to move on. We'll have to see. It's looking like it's possible.
I mean, let's take a look at the points, right? They got themselves in total, what, 30? They're currently still, all right. Let me break it down for you, right? They got 30 points here, but obviously NAGOYA Ojibwe, they got themselves 10 in the initial matchup with Torimeshi. So unfortunately, DetonatioN is still in last place, right? But they got themselves up to 50. And that's, you know, 25 points away from overtaking HIROSHIMA Team Ikaza, but they still have games to play. It's looking like from here on out, DetonatioN needs, if they could still consistently score 30, they still have a chance.
Tell me there's a chance. DetonatioN can still do
Telling
it.
you there's a chance.
And I mean, they got the Geef player, the grotesque, the top tier Geef out here. Itabashi Geef. He said he was. They were all thinking about the order until the last second, so they were happy to get the win. Nauman says he wasn't in the best condition, but he was so happy that the team had won. You know, it kind of seemed like he was a little bit, you know, maybe not as focused when it came to that offense or having a game plan against Sim. But it's hard. Sim kind of plays that one-player game, especially when you're fighting someone like Torimeshi, who is always about mid to full screen, damn near all the time.
And that's a fair assessment. It's a fair way of putting it, right? Dhalsim gets to play the one-player game more often than not. Your sole objective, I feel like, is catching. It depends on your character, actually. Is trying to catch Dhalsim slipping first, and then trying to pursue your pressure against him. Because again, he can be pretty slippery. If he manages to get out, good luck trying to chase him down again. But for the most part, it is possible. We've seen it multiple times over in different matchups. JP specifically has a really really enjoyable time against Delsin, according to both Aqua and JP. But yeah, overall, man, it's tough. But going back to the points discussion, I still think it's a possibility for DetonatioN to make it up to the top 6, man. They just have to just keep consistent, man. They have to not lose any of the rest of their games, which is the top. It's a very hard ask, for sure.
It's a huge ask, but hey, we've seen blocks happen. We've seen things that many of us didn't expect to happen, so it's possible. We see DetonatioN moving on to that final portion. But going back to some of the players were saying, Jatanuchi says, it was my first win. The game was a bit difficult at first, but Fudo's game was such a good game. Giving cheers over the side of Fudo with that DJ play. It's great to see that DJ be strong enough, because we've seen him play and practice with Sim for a big portion of his Street Fighter 6 lifespan, and then pull the DJ. When Street Fighter League started, I was like, there's no way that DJ is going to be as strong as the Sim, but ended up that he had practiced it just fine, and he's A-okay with this character. And again, that variance that he has with that aggression, those bursts of moments of just cool conversions, showcase how strong he is. And someone like KB, even though he had the template of Dogra to study with, wasn't enough. So Fudo says in the last scene, he was thinking about how to make everyone excited. Not the best choice, but he won. So that's that. Listen, I was excited. That was maximally excited on my side. You know, my man filled that bar at the last second. I think that was very exciting, Fudo. You got me going, brother.
Yeah, you know, I don't know how to necessarily respond to stuff like that. It makes me think to myself, it's like, all right, well, if Fudo was put in a very serious situation, I wonder if he would actually just run over everybody. You know what I mean? Like the fact that this is in the back of his mind, it's like this has me concerned, man. I know he's a dad now. He's feeling real family-like, and he wants to, you know, have the dad jokes in him too, like Justin Wong. But we'll see, man. I wonder how that's gonna play out for him later on in the league. But taking a look at the current stats, right? The anti-airs. That's a lot. That's a lot of jumps from both ends. Both 16 jumps from JP, probably departures being included as well. 9 out of 16 and 6 out of 9 from KB. Oh boy, that's very tricky, man.
Surprised we didn't see OD and Misha counted. I'm not sure why, because we did see Wake Up Level 1 as a reversal, but OD and Misha not counted. I think that only came through like 3 times, but didn't really work out to full effect, maybe once or twice. But I do want to say, like, the DP's landing was really good from the side of Fudo, because there was hesitation on the side of KB. Even though KB won that round, he almost went down because he stagger stepped a little bit. An immediate wake-up match on the side of Fudo worked out. I feel like that hesitation helped him to that victory. Too much mental stack as the set went on. In the first of 2, I think KB would be able to take that, but a first of 3 anchor, Fudo was on point. 30 points on the side of Team DetonatioN over Oja Body Star. We talk about these points, DetonatioN having a chance. Oja Body Star's chances looking dimmer and dimmer to try to at least make the playoffs. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, it's looking a little tough, no doubt. But what's not tough is making the decision to go to Tokyo Game Show if and only if I feel like you're already in Japan. I think, why not, right? With the month of September already pretty much at our doorsteps. Man, it's almost September? That's kind of crazy. Tokyo Game Show, we could expect, I feel like this is like the big showcase for Capcom. So I think I could say with confidence that there's got to be something in terms of announcements for like all of these games, including Street Fighter 6, right? Unless it's like a title that they're just kind of showing like DLC for, or not DLC, but just kind of showing like how new the game is, like Exo Primal. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there was any sort of like big news coming out of Tokyo Game Show. Be sure to mark your calendars. That's going to be happening mid-September.
Yeah, make sure y'all be watching that. I'll be watching it too as well. Hoping and praying that we get more Saki trail. I'm sure we'll get like a gampaay trail out there or something like that, but maybe like a little tease for Ed. I'd like to see if Ed is similar to Street Fighter 5. Like, you know, the input's gonna be the same because we have modern controls. Will they keep him in a modern sort of style? I'm not sure. But we get a little bit of tease out there as an extra little tidbit. But we'll like to see other things that are going on with Street Fighter 6, like maybe more story stuff. You know, maybe more costumes and things like that. Costumes would be great. I feel like that's one thing that we're not having as much as like the costumes. Give me the mecha costumes. Give me the swimsuit costumes. Give me anything. I'll buy them all, Capcom.
I think in comparison to Street Fighter 5 and their release, I think their pacing is a lot faster, right? They've provided so many different costumes already for the entire roster, actually. Not so many, but they actually provided like an extra costume set for like the current roster. It took us a very, very long time to get any sort of like DLC changes to the base this roster of Street Fighter V, right, in comparison. So I'm about it, man. I'm totally willing to see what else they have in store. I mean, they've already announced it, right? They've already showed off some of the big costumes coming out for Marisa. She has her wedding dress. You have like the award show DJ. You have Guile with a different haircut. Guile looking like he's on vacation for once in his life, etc. And Jury in the onesie, by the way, that's huge. So yeah, very excited to see it overall. You guys should be excited too, man. There's so much coming out in the realm of Street Fighter 6 that we can look forward to, but one step at a time, right? In fact, we got to talk about our match coming up. Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto versus HIROSHIMA Team Ikuza. That is going to be our final match of the day. You do not want to miss it. I highly guarantee it, because these guys are in the running for the top 6. In the meantime, get some snacks, get some refreshments, get some water, hydrate yourselves. We'll see you guys at the other end of this break. See you soon.
9時3分からは第8節マッチ3最瞬間ソル熊本対広島チームイクサ、こちらの模様をお届けしてまいります。それでは一旦失礼いたします。
早速始めるか。よし、やるか。いい戦いになりそうだ。実践的なのがいいんだよな。実践ってのもいろいろだが、この街で始めるならストリートからだ。
いつ使うか。開幕。いや、でもそれは正解だと思います。分かりやすいかなとは思いますよね。
相談室。
ゲージが6本あるときに使うと、まあこう消費しても大丈夫なのかな。
無駄にならないですからね。
大丈夫なのかな。
てか開幕
が始まった時点で俺ゲージ無駄になってる時間だと思ってる。
あ、そうそうそうそう。
なんなら早く使いたいなって気持ちになるんですよね。
うん。
だからまあルークだったらこれめっちゃ使いますね。
うん。
とりあえず走る。
ゲージが4本だったらどうなの
4本は俺走んないですね。
？4本ダメ。
ドライブは
5本
5本は走ります。
ヒットするとコンボになってガードだとコンボにならないでしょ。
はい。
4本ヒット。
4本ヒットでも確認できなくないですか？
じゃあできるもの？コパコパとか。
できるものとしたら4本ランはします絶対。
4本ランで1本になるのは OK。
全然 OK です俺は。
3本。
3本はだから相手の体力によりますよ。もう
3本で倒しきれなくても走る。
3本で倒しきれないなら走らないです。だってやっぱバーンアウトしたら自分が倒される可能性ありますからね。
危なすぎるよね。
危なすぎる。
あ、けどそれはね大体なんか一緒だわ。
ああ、
うん。
あ、よかったです。倒しきれるときはもうドライブゲージ全部払って支払っていいです。でもやっぱ最初が一番分かりやすいんじゃないですか。
うん。
試合始まった動き方で最初にこうやってうまく卓を走ることで卓をかけに。6本あったら走れです。
むしろ少なかったら走るな。
ガードできたのまず偉いですね。
マジで俺ね逆なんだよね。
ガードするな。
ガードめっちゃ悪っていう。
あ、こういう飛びね。
そう普通の飛びに
真正面からの飛び
にガードして、
はい、
だけどこの振りだから立川さんどうしましょうって今俺の認識こうなの。
どうするの前にあるだろうっていうね。
もう食らった方がよくねって俺は思っちゃう。そうやってね。まあけど質問答えてくださいとか。
対空を出せ。
太鼓出すじゃないのよ。
あ、違うんですか。
ガードしてるのを良しとするな。
We are back with the final match of the day. Saishunkan Kumamoto going up against Hiroshima Team Itsuka. Both these teams above the line. They're trying to stay fine. And again, as many points as possible. Let's start off with the sun shining on this team. Starting off with Sasamo, the sunlit rising star himself with that DJ play, with the Shades 2 as well. It is Sasamo. Right after that is the Prodigy, always staying golden, and of course, always staying Gucci. It is Higuchi on the Guile. Right after that is the little devil himself, always demonic with the modern or classic. Doesn't matter what it is with that Molly Marisa. It is Shuto, and last but not least, it is the Brute King himself, always mean, always supreme on that JP. It is Nemo. What a team full of talent, and I do think that Higuchi may be stepping up to bat today. We'll have to see who comes up to play first.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of curious to see how this plays out in terms of like the team order. Man, Nemo is looking like he's got some serious business to attend to. That business happens to be through Hiroshima Team Ikaza with Aqua stepping up, the magician who has been doing great work with that JP, which is kind of wild because, you know, he's been taking some notes from Nemo, the fighting spirit that is Jazzy, who's been on an offensive upswing with that Luke. So impressive. The massive pad grappler. You gotta be real happy if you're Kichipamu, especially with the way that Zangief has been performing since the weekend. And of course, here comes the boom. The Storm himself, Storm Kubo, with that Edmund Honda. Will this be the week? Will this be the section where we get to see Kichipamu shine? I would love to see it. In collaboration with Aqua, in collaboration with Jazzy, dang. I think it just might be Storm Kubo who has to play. He is revving his engines already. He is feeling it.
Yeah, whatever. Vroom. We'll see what comes up though, bro. But like, okay, Saishunkan Kumamoto looking hella serious right now. Sasamo doesn't even have the shades on. Maybe waiting to equip them if he comes up. Let's see what's coming up right now. It's going to be Higuchi versus Jazzy, who has been a standout star. Now, this is wild because I feel like it's the old standout star versus the new standout star. We saw Jazzy eliminate legend after legend. In fact, one of my MVPs for the entire season. But Jazzy has been putting work in. I'm sorry, Higuchi himself has been putting in work with that Guile. Where as Japan feels like this character's kind of weak, he's kind of proving people wrong.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Japan's tier lists, but you know, I maybe they're heavily taking into consideration perfect parries. That's the only thing I could possibly think of that kind of like maybe make Guile feel weaker. I personally can't see it, Sankola. I mean, call me crazy, but like EU is having a fantastic time with this character. North America is having a fantastic time with this character. The Dominican Republic. Kaba just won one of the biggest pop bonuses we've seen over at Heatwave not too long ago, literally during CPT weekend, right? He won 18K. I don't know, man. Like, I think Guile could still be a problem, right? But taking a look at the current matchup, I think Jazzy, again, you talked about this earlier, being a legend killer. Jazzy has had a winning streak thus far since Section 5 a couple of weeks ago, where he took down Momochi 3-0. He took down Fujimura in the sudden death, where I feel like Fujimura shines, right? Then over in week 7, he took down Pugera 3-2. Can he do so again against a character that I feel like is going to be significantly slower, right? You're not setting up against Rashid. You're not setting up against Ken. Both can be very fast. I think, if anything, Rashid can be like the closest to Guile in terms of setting up. But also DJ, like, it's a different story when you have a slower paced character, right? When we talk about the one-player game, I feel like Guile can definitely be in that category, just setting up booms and setting up shop.
Guile could do it. I feel like he can do it all, to be honest. Zoning, rush down is fantastic. His drive rush is full screen. He's got many options overhead, crouching mini kick to mix it up. You can throw like a light fireball and drive rush right after it. It's just a nasty deal when you deal with this character. And the damage. And then you get into burnout is damn near over with that level 2. You know what to do. It's the parade of booms coming through. So I feel like if Japan don't know how good Guile is, I feel like you gotta be just not watching what Higuchi be doing. I don't think they're watching his streams. I don't think they're just not playing him enough. I don't know what it is, but Higuchi has been leading the charge of Guile and been doing work out here. But you know, I feel like this is one of those matchups that at least Minard has talked about it. He's like, I don't like it, as, you know, playing Luke against the likes of Kaba. I don't know if that's like a Kaba thing or if that's like a Guile thing. I'm not sure.
No, it makes sense.
But
I think it makes sense.
You know. Talk to me.
Overall, I don't think Luke. So we talk about him having the best fireballs in the game. We're talking about Luke, right? I think overall, there's still a lot that Guile can do to kind of win in the fireball war if he sets up appropriately with like a Sonic Blade, throw out a Sonic Cross at that afterwards, and can also kind of pretty much outpace Luke in the neutral department. I think in terms of the normals and the ranges that he has. I think there's been a lot of counter pokes that have been happening in this matchup in favor of Guile against Luke. If you were to talk about why he would switch over to Blanca, I think it just makes sense because I think Blanca does a fantastic job of punishing or being within range of threatening the boom and preventing the player from even throwing them out, right? That slide is going to be huge if you're Blanca. So it's totally understandable as to why he doesn't want to play Luke versus Guile and would much prefer Blanca versus Guile. So I think right now what we're going to possibly see is Higuchi. I think he already knows that Jazzy is afraid of Sonic booms. I think there's something about this kid where he kind of does like the strategic homework needed to figure out his game plan initially. I have a feeling he's going to also bulldog his way through against Jazzy because of how how beneficial it is for Jazzy to start his offense. He said it in his quote, right? His pregame quote, gonna win, try to stop my rush. All right, so it's gonna be the other way around. Higuchi is actually taking, I feel like, a little bit of a hybrid approach, right? He's throwing a couple of booms, but also broken his charge to kind of check Jazzy. He's like, you know what, I'm willing to throw some of these normals out too, but it's been a lot of booms now from the side of Higuchi, so he's waiting. He's actually testing Jazzy. He wants to see that offense come out.
As soon as he tried to walk through, try to press the button, that crouching mini kick, you see the three-piece counter hit. That crouching mini kick, a deadly button when you get the punish counter just in general. There's that stand fierce, face to face to put him in that corner place. Medium knuckle, not the charged up one. Jazzy has to be careful. Not a lot of drive gauge. He finally confirms. And the perfect pairs to keep that gauge, finds a jump in. That's big on the likes of a God player, especially one like Higuchi.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely no doubt about that. Yeah, the big back heavy punch that could have been so much, I think, off of that. There was a counter hit though, so I kind of wonder. I can't recall what it is about that normal though. It's still so dangerous. That suppressor. Level 1. Not going to be enough though.
Brings the impact, but the jab will take him down. Just a dab will do right there. I like that. Save the bar. You don't really need level 3 in this match. You can use level 1 to equalize the fireball, effect that comes through from the side of Higuchi. Now caught up in the corner, stand fierce. Read the wake up button. We've seen crouching mini kick come through more often than not. Jazzy with those stand fierces connected continuously.
Oh, what an overhand too. And a full conversion from Higuchi. I'm liking this a lot. Get rid of that setup shot. Sonic Blade, perhaps? No, he's gonna walk back. OD Sonic Boom to double check. Dashes up the exchange. That was a counter hit off of the standing medium punch as well. That could have been a +4 scenario for him to convert off of, but it's probably too far away, so we totally get it. Jazzy now trying to indicate, yeah, he was getting a little bit too antsy, and Higuchi read it perfectly. OD Sonic Boom, firing right back.
What a good closer too as well. You do the fast fireball to clip them. You've already challenged them in the air. So on the ground, easy way to take them down. Drive rush medium. Defense has been real good for the side of Higuchi. Not getting opened up. We've seen a lot of people get opened up, but he will not get opened up too far, just by a centimeter, by a hair right there. And you see the drive rush follow after these fireballs. That's what makes the zoning so powerful for the side of Goff. You can drive rush right after. Bind confirms, especially on these perfect fireballs, the perfect booms, the extra +2, I believe.
But you see, like, the battle of attrition here. Look, we've already got under 70 seconds left on the clock, and it's been nothing but Higuchi draining the drive gauge and taking some of these really, really small hits against Jazzy that are slowly starting to add up, right? Jazzy is getting locked out, and I mean that, man. He's getting thrown in so many different looks. The fireballs, getting punished for neutral jumping them, not even trying to parry, right?
No way.
That's going to be more than enough damage with the solid puncher installation. Higuchi looking as dominant as ever. Game number 1, it would look to be pretty free against Jazzy. Again, we haven't seen him utilize the perfect parry. He's letting some of these drive gauge situations kind of just like burn out for him, and no pun intended. He's just slowly just taking it.
Yeah, it's wild to not see that happen. The variance of boosts has definitely been difficult to deal with. However, Jazzy gets him in the corner, forward fierce up that drive rush. Is that crouching mini kick harassing and checking that walk back? Not even a counter hit. You counter it for the stand medium punch to jail him in the corner. Luke's got some of the best jailing buttons in the business. You see stand medium punch, light punch, stand fierce. Damn near all the buttons reminiscent of Street Fighter 5. Oh, you barely won't survive after this next sequence. If you can get like a perfect combo with drive gauge behind, it could kill.
OD flash kick, get off of me. The one time. Oh. This burnout is going to be so significant. That was far.
No way.
What? Somebody check the distance on that. My man threw it from like that end of like the utility pole. You see that like that colored utility pole where the payphone is? I know a lot of y'all don't know what a payphone is, but man, that was mad far.
That's not regulation. That's not regulation. We need to check that right now. Higuchi on set point right here. Just, man, he's able to ride it back from the brink and not even able to bail out those anti-airs. Is Jazzy. That crouch fierce not baited. Finds the overhead. The falls. He's got that level 3. Yo, let me see. Dialing the Sonic Steppers. Oh, you are deader than Jazzy. Higuchi.
That is truly the most GGs you could ask for. That's not even good games, baby. That's good guile. That was Higuchi stamping it. He was like, you know what, Jazzy? You tried, bro. You tried. I wish somebody could clip that later, too. I'm going to check that out. That was the farthest pushback I've seen from a drive impact ever. Ever. That's nuts.
Actually kind of wild. Listen, Jazzy said, try and stop my rush. Higuchi said, bet. I got you. And honestly, some of that was just Sonic Boom in the follow-ups right after, having drive gauge to always have like drive rush stand fierce, stand medium, stand heavy kick. I've not seen drive rush stand heavy kick after fireball follow-up ever in my damn life. That's one thing I'll note about Higuchi and put in my notes is that he is able to capitalize after Sonic Booms more continuously than other Guile players. Not that other Guile players do not, but how significant that was in this match, always making the most out of damn near every single hit of every Sonic Boom, every perfect boom to as well, is fantastic. Like, it's actually kind of wild that that happened. I feel like maybe that caught Jazzy off guard so much that he was like, I can't even try to perfect parry the booms because he'll just drive rush and maybe get a throw, so like maybe he'll get preempted, but I don't know. It just felt like it was too much.
Yeah, and I gotta say, man, the way that he played out the first round of both games to start things off, it was so problematic for Jazzy, right? I think one of the biggest hurdles that he was going through was obviously the booms. I think, my God, look at the amount of donuts and look at how many 100%. Jesus Christ. That is an immaculate record from the side of Higuchi, right? Not a lot of attempts all across the board, but still 100%. Hey, man, we'll absolutely take those. Anti-air department, we totally get it, man. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to anti-air consistently, especially with Luke's jump heavy punch. That normal is a problem. But, man, from the side of Jazzy, you could tell he was lost in the lights a bunch, man. Those first openers, those first looks at the beginning of both games with all of the Sonic Booms, dude, he was looking lost. He did not show off any of like the parry options, no perfect parries, no option selects, none of it, right? So that just goes to show you a lot about what Higuchi was expecting, and like, you know, he was willing to wait it out. He was willing to play that strategy. He was willing to stay in phase one of this gameplay in comparison to Jazzy, who couldn't even get past it. Oh snap! All right, so I don't know if you caught Dago's stream recently, last week.
Yeah,
the Beast actually had a big exhibition against a handful of players. Sasamo had a rough end of the bargain in his matchup. He faced off against an 11-year-old prodigy. I think he's 11. An 11-year-old prodigy. DJ versus Luke. Sasamo fell short, I think, 5-1, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what the actual final score was, but there was a point in time where it was 5-1 against the young lad, and he was getting smoked. I really hope he's been able to sharpen it up since then, because that was... He even tweeted it out. He's like, you know, life is hard. He just straight up said, life is tough.
Life is tough, man. I mean, he's been fighting for citizenship for Japan because he's from Brazil, and he wanted to use that tournament as access to that. So he's still looking for esports to be that path. But I think that's actually a good thing. Like, even if you lose right there, it's like, man, the world of fighting games is vast, bro. You got 11-year-olds that are ridiculous at this game. And we've already seen like these young champions, these young gods from you know, Indie Walker and stuff like that. So it shouldn't be a big surprise, but man, I think that will contextualize things for Sasamo and make him take things even more serious. Not that he wasn't, but make him take it even more serious. He's got to be serious against the likes of Storm Kubo, bro. My man said, I don't want to lose, I want to win. Sasamo said, I'm on the edge of falling down. So for Sasamo, I feel like in terms of just being competitive right now, it's like a do or die, but this push may make him, you know, become a way stronger player, right? This could be like the edge that he needs, the precipice that he needs to be on to make himself go to that next level, because he's always been like close to that element, but he's just not there just yet. That could be the push right here. After that big loss and right here for his team to get some points on the board, this could be it right here.
Yeah, I feel like the same could be said with Sasumo, right? In terms of like Storm Kubo kind of at the cusp of being the pro to watch for. He was kind of like that when Abigail had come out in Street Fighter V, right? All eyes were on him at the same time with Abigail and the way that he was pulverizing people. But as it stands right now, yeah, Storm Kubo is still trying to find his bearings. At least that's what it looks like since his last couple of runs in Street Fighter League. But he's been absolutely consistent, at least in appearance and at least in attitude and demeanor. He's been very happy and very outgoing. But he needs a little bit more than that in order for it to actually matter for points on the board. Taking a look at Storm Kubo's current record, he is 1-5 at the moment. Yikes, that's actually kind of rough. Sasumo, however, on the other hand, 0-2 right now.
Oof. Oof. Yeah, definitely have to bring your best on Kubo, as he had said, but this is going to be do or die for her. I think just like a personal sort of thing. For Storm Kubo, I feel like he's got these moments that are really great. We saw the side switch that was super sick off the sweep into level 3. I've never seen that mid-screen. In the corner, I've seen that as a side switch, great, but mid-screen, he found a way to make that work. But it's just like clutch moments to like close things out. His defense just not always being there, and the opponent just making the accurate reads to cook him at the finish line, and it doesn't feel good for the side of Storm Kubo. For Sasumu, I feel like he just doesn't have those moments as DJ that you want to have, right? He's got the feints, the smooth movement, but they don't lead up to enough. They don't lead up to enough of that dumping of damage that you would see with the drive gauge just conversions. They're not always there, which you have to have with DJ, or else you're getting nothing. You're getting just all pecks of damage. Do or die for both players. Let's go.
Already pretty aggressive from the side of Storm Kubo. We see the drive rush forward from Sasumo. Attempting to go for like a tick throw jab, or a tick throw in general, sorry. We do get the Sumo Spirit installation from Storm Kubo. It's going to lead to a lot of damage if he's able to land it. If he's able to land any of the hands, really.
KP immediately. Space up in this place, back him up. But Sasumo's got to be careful. You're in burnout. You really can't rebuttal with those levels. Nice, finds the answer. Don't get put up in the corner as much as possible. Stake your life on it right now. His hands up on the man. They will not end the impact.
Oh, he still has Sumo Spirit. Oh, safe jump. And I like that jump out from Sasumo. Safe jump doesn't work on Honda like that, though.
Oh, no fake out. I'm just hitting. Wake up with violence. Hit the alarm clock, started swinging. Storm Kubo cheering for himself too with that level 1.
That's fair. And that was also very fortunate. It's wild to say this, but you know, the fact that Storm Kubo got punished and the drive impact came out as a combo instead of a splat, that was actually really, really fortunate. Forward throw again. You can throw him again. You only have to be in fear of a level 1, now a level 2. But if you force him to spend it, that's fine. He's gonna get take all this throw, yeah. That was tough either way. Like if you looked at if you think about the psychology behind it, there's no point in trying to like throw out the super and make the comeback happen from that big of a deficit. But now Sasumo will do so again. I think, you know, Honda overall very susceptible to throws, right? He doesn't have an actual defensive maneuver against it other than spending bar.
Or it's even more difficult for him to deal with. Level 3 immediately. Gonna build up that gauge back for Sasumo. This is good. You're in the lead. You've got the drive gauge, the drive rush medium, drive rush light. You actually just dash in for the crouching medium punch. Close enough to do the damage. Back throw here. It's a desperate comeback, but it's not meant to be. The OD jackknife is on point, and these bust outs have been fantastic. Storm Kubo hasn't read a single OD DP at all.
That's difficult, man. It's hard to call. Those things come out in the blink of an eye, to be honest with you. But Sasumo, he will absolutely take that, getting the first W, the first round against Storm Kubo. A lot to think about, right? He doesn't want to spend anything. He doesn't want to do anything irrational on Wake Up, and I totally get that. But at the same time, it's like, who expects to be thrown that many times in terms of like being within the game? Like, it's different when we're observing it as commentators and like viewers at home on stream. It's like, yeah, it makes sense for the DJ to kind of go in and throw Honda over and over again, because again, he doesn't have a reversal against it. OD headbutt, no sir. There's still starting frames from, yeah, he can't backdash either, right? So it's tough, man. It's really tough. He's still gonna be grounded if he chooses to do any OD first.
But it's wild because, like, you know, when you put in a situation, like when I play, bro, I'm taking a lot of throws like that too as well. So I definitely feel that same sort of pain. And you get to that point where you pointed out where it's like, it's not even worse. It's not even worth, you know, running the rebuttal or running like a super, because at that point you spit bar, you've got some distance, but you've lost already so much health that you'd rather not use a resource and save it for the next round. But again, this goes back to what we were discussing before. That lacking and slacking defense from the side of Storm Kubo, bro. It's just part of the character.
It's Honda.
But also his innate defense doesn't feel like it's there. Yeah, I feel like it's Honda, but also maybe a little bit of himself too as well. You know, not rotating those defensive options, you know, as much as maybe he should. At least, you know, go for a jab or something like that. I know it's Honda, but need to see something different from him.
He can't. That's the worst part, is that he can't go for a jab if it's a meaty throw. Like, he has to just hold it. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, like it's not for lack of trying. If he jumps out, he gets option selected. I mean, sure, it's like pay the toll like everybody else, but it's like it's so difficult. In terms of like the risk reward against a character like DJ, it's like if you get meatied, you're eating a gang of damage from this cannon, right? So it's a really hard guess. So I don't blame him. Really don't. We got the sumo spirit as well after that big chunky damage too. That is huge. OD. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things. If you see a green light, if you see any sort of drive rush, headbutt will be the big deterrent against it. And that's going to be a big problem, I guess, for Sasamo if he continues to do so. So long as Storm Kubo masks his charge.
So the difficulty right here, parry all dang day. You've got the lead. Honda on the reverse though, hard to come back when he's got that lead with the turtle. So trying to get in, push him to the corner. Almost a burnout is Storm Kubo. Yeah, nice. He gets a killer drive gauge. Finds across an anti, a little bit delayed. That jackknife. So can still do this. Again, you can't jump in. Space anti in the air. Drive impact on the way down. Ooh, so cheap. Finds a jump fierce. And that should be defeat. It goes to that level 2. No, it's level 3. Just spin the win. Yeah.
Hey, I love this character. This character's so sick. Voice acting for this character, I'll say it every broadcast. Top notch, man. Easily one of the best voice actors in Japanese for sure. He sounds so sick.
So cool. Damn, I want to play him. Okay, no, never mind. Anyway, back in this match, Sasamo. Different looks that we see with the fireballs. And now more of the feints. Nice. Caught the just cool with the headbutt. Saw the movement. Take a shot. Nice interruption to his off the medium, bro. He is so ready. Not just the headbutt, but the normals as well from the side of Storm.
What a stop, too. Into the drive first. The stop sign. Sit him down. Now you have his back towards the corner. You get to kind of hang out, hold back as much as you want. The side switch, yeah, off with a perfect parry. You know it. Excellent choice here. Oh, you could actually throw him to death if you wanted to. Oh, he picked movement. He tried to jump out. Sasamo, look at the amount of damage. In retaliation, now you have to guess again. He's so smart.
Drive impact. Oh, that's not that. Go for the finish. Jump back, trying to clip the headbutt. Drive rush in. The stoppage of the light punch. Your burnout could see drive impact from the side.
Oh my God, he's dead.
That's a chunky stew.
Oh my God. There's some beef. That was crazy. Sasamo let it slip from his hands. What else could it have been? Perfect parry is there right afterwards. It's a headbutt. Dash up to Oki. OD jackknife. Yo, Sasamo's been on fire with those calls.
They really have been. Pretty much like 10 for 10, it feels like. Anti-airs, bust outs, and defense. Okay. Sway the throw. It's in the corner. It was also a punish count, so extra damage. And again, throw sig. Population Storm Kubo. Storm is dwindling down. Never mind, he gets a low. He's fine, he's out of there. It's a space with this place.
He's going down too. He's backing up. He's going to get evicted from him. He does get the burnout. Oh, but it's still going to be Sasamo on the way out. Catching Storm Kubo on his landing frames. A lot of damage. It could be death. Yeah, that's going to be death. What am I saying? That's DJ, baby. That's Tuesday Night Fever for Japan. Yo, it's Sasamo taking it down. The big celebration from the big man. 2 2-0 against Storm Kubo. Damn, this is great for Saishunkan Soul Kumamoto. 20 points.
Very good stuff. No, 20 points definitely feel real good. And Sasimo also, for his side of things, that's gonna feel real good after having such recent losses. And you know, you get bodied, you know, to maybe something that you didn't think you were gonna get bodied to, into an opportunity that you would like to have. It's got to feel bad for him to pick himself up and come to league, ride for his team, and do work. Fantastic. I love that we see also, like, you know, the perfect anti-airs, perfect spacing. We see jackknife if need be, perfectly spaced, perfectly timed, and then also catching the landing recovery frames at the very end with that light punch. We see that more often from these pro players, making sure to maximize the damage and not let you leave for free. I'm sitting here saying, yo, bro, just jump out and you'll be A-okay. That was not the play. Don't listen to me. I'm a fool right there, because you see the damage that is dumped out when you land, bro. Sasimo, back in business. I'm so happy to see that he is happy, you know what I'm saying? That is great to see, but sad for Storm Kubo, though, not able to get that handle just yet. He had the perfect parries. The defense is there, like with the perfect parries in the mid-screen. Like, I like that, putting in defense every so often, but just the corner, man, it not feeling so good for Honda.
It's not. It definitely doesn't. But hey, man, you can see the amount of fortitude, or at least in regards to defense. Here for the stats. Looking at the anti-airs, 63% from the side of Sasimo, maintaining that charge every so often. But 100%, the one time he needed to do it, he got it done. Check mark for Storm Kubo. Looking at the OD reversals, I gotta say also, Sasimo did a fantastic job of utilizing those big up kicks. Then we saw the OD reversal, not OD, sorry. Was that I think he did a super, if I'm not mistaken, from the side of Honda. But either way, not too bad either for Storm Kubo. But yeah, 4 games straight all across the board for Saishunkan Soul, huh?
Cooking right now. Aprons are on. Yes, chef, on the side of Saishunkan Soul Kumamoto. The sun is definitely shining on them, but it's not over. We need to see HIROSHIMA Team Itsuka at least get the win for the anchor position to tie things up. We'll see if that happens. Listening up, I haven't looked yet. It's Nemo versus Aqua, JP versus JP. The accountants, you see, fighting it out. The study buddies, now rivals.
That's actually crazy. It's literally these two that are in each other's stream chat every single stream. And you can see how much it means to Nemo. Nemo's got his hand to his chest. He's like, ooh, this is a tough one. This actually is a little bit problematic. And we're not even kidding. These guys truly are like training partners. It's nuts that it actually came down to be this way. What other players could it have possibly been? Like I honestly thought Aqua would have been the play for sure, but from the side of Saishunkan Soul Kumamoto, I thought maybe perhaps it would have been Shuto.
Yeah, surprisingly enough. I don't know if it's because Shuto's maybe practicing, like right now he's practicing with JP himself, because he said in the second half of Street Fighter League, shouts to FTC Translator for this information, that Shuto plans to play some JP as well. So I don't know if that's like him maining it. I think he's probably planning to play both, but he's been having a lot of fun with that character and seeing the strengths. So maybe he's on the back foot right now, practicing and preparing that JP while Nemo steps up. But man, a mirror match of all things. Still, for him to come up is kind of wild. Nemo said he didn't have that much confidence in facing Zangief. You know what, Nemo? Much after this weekend, I don't know if I do either, my guy. Let's just put it that way. I feel the same way.
You know, I fought against the Zangief in ranked, and I'm like, you know what? I've seen the best of it. What do I have to lose here? I don't think I'll be facing off against the same Titan. If anything, it's to give a lot of players in ranked confidence against any other Zangief, because you've already seen the best Zangief. If it doesn't say Snake Eyes on the CFN, you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be afraid anymore.
Oh, you're right. I could breathe.
I could breathe.
Nemo said that was a relief that he didn't have to fight Itazan. That would have been fantastic. If we would have seen the Itazan bout against Nemo, that would have been super sick. I would have absolutely loved it. But Nemo would not have. Aqua says the last time he was saved by Kichipa, now he will save the team. But a mirror match is so difficult. Like, you're fighting against the same character. It's such a weird thing. There's some tech in a mirror match, but it's really about how you fight against the player. You both have the same optimal distances, you know, the same sort of like where you want to stand and things like that. Like, this is going to be something that is more about like player versus player.
It is. It truly is. And I think I will give my professional opinion on this. I think Nemo is he's definitely like one of the most studious players that we can ask for in terms of like running the lab. I think he is one of the most informed players that we could ask for in terms of the technology that is given or that he develops because of how his versus brain works, right? He's been such a huge proponent in the Marvel scene and does such a fantastic job of creating some of these big teams and been such a contender for it. I think that work ethic and that knowledge is going to be his advantage in this mirror match. I don't think there's a lot that Aqua has been able to exercise in regards to like this matchup in particular, because he's not going to face anyone else other than maybe like Kakeru if he's asked him for a set or not, or just running into him in ranked or not. But I think overall, I think Nemo, just based off of like prior experience and literally watching his stream and Aqua being the one to like ask him about like information, I think it might be Nemo.
Yeah, I think this might be, I hate to prophesize the demise of a player, but I think this might be Nemo's game right here. And I think that one player sort of saw that he wants to play at is maybe to his benefit, especially in a mirror match. Like, you know how to run your sequences, you know how to sauce them up. I'm wondering if Aqua knows how to deal with those sequences. Like, you know, you've studied, you've labbed up how to put them on somebody. Do you know the defensive measures? I've seen Nemo himself. Even though let me scale back a little bit what I said about that one player sort of style. When it comes to defense, I've watched him play other JP players. He doesn't get got by a lot. This man stays solid in the mix. It's actually kind of wild because he's created a lot of the mix. He's created a lot of those setups that you see, along with Kakeru too as well. So like, I think he understands also how to break it down defensively and say, this is what you should have did. I think that's going to help him out. Aqua, I haven't seen that same sort of defense. He's gonna need it right now. Again, I don't like calling things early, but I mean, Nemo being the brute king himself is gonna be hard for Aqua to stop that offense.
Yeah, I think it's a fair assessment. I think this is what we're gonna be telling our viewers at home or anybody watching the VOD. Let's take a look at what Aqua has on defense. Unless he can prevail against Nemo pretty early, we'll see. And already testing the waters, you see Nemo using the drive rush into the jab to halt his momentum. He's already testing Aqua and his reactions.
Thank you for the ghost. You're definitely right about that. Every so often, sending out a ghost, having the fake outs, nice to jump with that jump fierce. I feel like also Nemo gets aerial with it a little bit more. Jump fierce, jump medium punch, those are fantastic buttons. Open up.
And he went for the double low. Slowly trying to chip away at the drive gauge, looking for a response against Nemo. Nemo still has a little bit in the tank, and he's still duking it out. Yeah, this is the part where he could actually throw out drive gauge if he wanted to. Aqua can't take it.
Careful now. Perfect parry if you perfect parry the Pierce.
What are you doing?
You can't punish right back. Bro, what's going on? What, Nemo getting caught by? Never mind. He said, I might get dropped the air there right there. It was all part of the plan.
Yeah, that was two erroneous spikes from the side of Nemo. I never seen him kind of like panic in that sense. I don't think it was like necessarily panic, but he felt pretty confident that his spike was gonna overturn Aqua's. I was concerned for his safety.
Definitely felt that. Just follow up after the departure. Maybe he's looking for perfect parry, to be honest. I think he might be looking for that to pierce right back. That is I think that's a punish. Or at least
I mean,
near
he can. Yeah. But he was at such risk, right? If he mistimed it, he would have been near burnout. Or like not near burnout, but he would have been at burnout. I love that pickup for Aqua. Level 3, he's got it. Yeah, Nemo marking his territory as the premier JP player between the two. First game, level 3. And it's been a lot of chase down against Aqua, right? We're seeing a little bit of a pattern here. I think Nemo's been doing a fantastic job of tracking down whatever it is that Aqua wants to do on defense and making him pay for it over and over and over again. I think the jump backs have not been working out for Aqua this far.
And on offense too as well, we saw him try to jump in against the level 2. Nemo's ready with the perfect button, but this is the perfect button against Aqua. Crouching medium punch, get that corner push, get in the pierce situation. Trying to work out crouching medium kick from the side of Nemo. Drive rushing in, sets up the departure. Get a teleport, he'll actually just dash in. And again, like you're so worried about teleport, drive impact against the impact. Very smart stuff after that drive rush. Level 1 to put him in burnout.
So smart too. He has a slight edge, not only on offense, but also with the drive gauge build up. He gets to outpace Aqua in this entire exchange majority of the time. Yes, sir. And even if that didn't kill, that sets you up perfectly for a spike. There's nothing Aqua could have done about it.
Just start the party immediately with that crouching meter kick. It really is. I mean, that's the way he want to play. That single player sort of style, nice whip punish, Aqua setting up shot, but it doesn't feel like there's much that happens from these full screen situations as time goes on from Aqua. Thirsty, but not getting quenched.
Oh, and I love that. Yeah, just holding it, knowing full well Aqua's going to commit to a full sequence so that he's not going to be negative and his drive gauge is going to be net positive after that. And I love the pursuance too. OD Amnesia. I wonder what that was. He did a little bit of a drive parry. You saw it, the flash from Nemo.
No picking from Aqua though, that situation. Strange. Cannot be lacking against the likes of Nemo, the Brute King. Show you why he's the Emperor. Oh, the forward heavy kick did not connect. Get that anti, would have that level 2 on the knockdown. And Nemo find a way to stick in that level 2. He does. It's about converting. What happened, Aqua?
I don't know, man. He's not ready for it. It's evident. What else can we really say about it, man? Talking about what it is about Nemo and his current tactics, Aqua is just not ready to handle it. Like level 2, he's seen it a bunch. He has his own sequences at level 2, but he's getting schmixed. He's getting schmixed by some of the basics. I don't even think Nemo's giving him like really crazy mix-up looks either.
It's not been that. It's just been solid play from the side of Nemo. The side of Aqua, he's not making the most out of these like corner, pushes that he gets. He gets the 3-piece in the crystal slash, full corner carry, departures out. Nemo don't care, bro. Nemo's just like, cool, I will parry here, I will keep my drive gauge, and I will drive rush in to get my win every so often. It sinks in it in such a nasty way, and then again, Aqua just getting opened up by things that it's wild to me to see. It's not even like mix-ups as you put it, like as you're pointing out. It's just like simple things like level 2. He just maybe had the ghost out. I'm looking back at the replay a little bit, and it looks like he tried to throw out the ghost, I believe, and kind of autopiloted. Level 2 came out and got clipped, and that was it. Nemo on game point, bro.
Throwing out a ghost there, it's so highly questionable. This is rough. This is looking really rough from Aqua. I can't even imagine the amount of advice you could ask for amongst your teammates, right? I feel like a lot of the characters that are represented in Hiroshima Team Aegis are kind of fall short to JP as well, right? Like taking a look at the current roster, you're asking for Honda advice, Zangief advice, and Luke advice. I don't know, man. I think the best shot you have is Luke, but even then, that's also difficult.
Bro, you better get Kakuru on the phone right now. You better ring him up real quick, hit
Oh,
the
he's
line
doing
real
it.
quick, and ask him,
He
man.
turned
He
off
said,
the camera, brother. He's immediately texting Kakuru. He's like, what do I do in the mirror? Turned off the
What do I
camera
do?
and everything. Hold up.
do what you gotta do to get that victory. I definitely feel it because you are getting cooked right now. Aprons on by the side of Nemo. They may be walking away with a 40 baller. Don't let him do it. Hiroshima T. Itsuka. Won't leave without any points. Perfect parry back though. No, that's fine. You get the punish and you get that push in the corner. That's absolutely A-okay for the side of Nemo. Is that trade?
Yeah, with JP, oh, there was so much time left after that. JP, man, taking a dose of his own medicine, really. Number 1, it's gonna hit. Yes, sir. Aqua gets a setup chop. No, I thought he did. Never mind.
No permit here. Aqua, will we get the follow-up? Okay, the Pierce, departure in play. But Nemo just simply walks back. I feel like he's not afraid of departure, and there we see the drive. Forward heavy kick for the finish, catching these back jumps. That wasn't even a thing that we saw previously caught by Nemo, but now he's capitalizing on, adding more and more on the menu. Nemo on set point.
He's looking for your jump backs, man. And to be fair, like JP spends a good amount of time in the air when he jumps, and I think like him being able to track it down with his own forward heavy kick is so good. Oh, that's so good for Nemo too. Up until this point, right? Aqua now gets to set up the departure. It's the engaging against the drive gauge. Yes, sir. Being able to sneak in from your own departure, and it's going to be huge, right? The damage here, set up the departure. Set it up again. Looking for the drive gauge. That was beautiful.
No way this happens. Bars
If he gets
almost
the
gone for
burnout-
drive gauge.
This could be Nemo's game if he forces the burnout. Also, if he gets one connection into level 3, Aqua might be dead. Oh no! Oh, nice! What a save! The jump medium punch finding the connection against Nemo.
Aqua say he want to save his team. Stay on set point right now. Sharp angle, the anti right there. The crouch fear is not working out. I like these angles that Aqua trying to jump in at. And now covered by the departure, finds a counter hit. Caught in Preston, about to feel the press with all this damage that's coming through in the setup too as well. Tech the throw, you're still caught in the blender. Oh no, based on the OD amnesia. Bro, this is bad. Again, the departure, I bet it was like, this is how it feels? Sinks in the ghost, command grab the grip to do it. That's a rebuttal. Aqua.
That's Aqua, man. Put some respect on his name. That's Aqua, man. He got the grip, as you talked about earlier. He got the perfect. You know, I feel like Kakeru, he's got joint custody. He's got split custody, actually. He spent time with Nemo at first. And he's like, you know what? It's Aqua's turn. Let me get him on speed dial. Let me get him on the phone and help him out.
Man, it's Tuesdays. My turn. Nice challenge on. That's what's been helping out quite a bit for Aqua. Like round start, these like crouching medium punches against the drive rush, that's been initiated here for Nemo, because he has not feared the departure at all. So Aqua's like, hey, that's cool. I got another way to make it fall. I can do that crouching medium punch, stop you, stuff you, and now Aqua has him on the back foot up in the corner, counter hit.
Getting moved to jump against his own senpai, right? I guess Nemo, he's seen that one a few too many times, actually, getting that anti-air to get all of this started. But the big fundamentals coming out from Aqua, being able to stop the drive rush in general with the crouching medium punch. He keeps himself alive and also in a very advantageous position, especially with the goons coming out. Nemo, he tried to sneak a spike in there. That's pretty much a Hail Mary at that point, right? If the spike hits Aqua, the goons are gone. If he doesn't, well, eats the round. He's dead.
Ghost Lagoon saving the day. Oh, and again, the dash and checks and challenge here. Inside of Nemo this time. Crouching light punch in the counter hit. On that Pierce knockdown, the jump, drive rush, crouching mid kickstarter. Aqua, he's been using more movement than Nemo in terms of just like drive rushing. See the neutral jumps, avoiding the spikes. Defense with the side of Aqua is pretty damn good. And now finds some offense. Departure. Pierce caught him on the way in that jump. Nemo with the lead now, slightly, I think.
Oh. There's been a lot more close and compact between the two. You see the drive rushes coming out a lot more. Oh, that is huge. The link after that, I don't know. I think he might be dead. I think he might be dead.
Better than dead. In the ground. One more round. And Nemo will be taking the title of best JP in the mirror match, at least for right now. See if Aqua can fight back. We've seen him on the brink. Has to be careful with these ghosts. I feel like these feints have not worked out more often than not. Does find the drive rush stand fierce, sets up the departure, set the situation, and not find the follow-up. So has them on the corner. OD, amnesia to lock down the approach.
Oh!
No follow-up, trying to get the overhead. Not sure what that was. Maybe forward heavy kick. No, I'm not sure why you do that, because that's medium kick for overhead.
No, I think he just wanted on the other side. I think he was banking on Aqua to kind of like sit still, but Aqua got hit by the second ball. It wasn't, yeah, he didn't get hit by Nemo. It was just straight up the amnesia. The second part of it hit him. Oh my god. Double punish counter? Oh, that was just a counter hit, my bad. Set up, he gets the departure. He's got the OD spike attempt to stuff out Nemo. But now, OD amnesia to set up as well. The departure, he's running away. The check on the low, but it doesn't get to convert anything out of it.
Level 2's almost online to get that burnout situation. He runs a level 3 raw in the gap match, and just like that, he did not have to deal with that mix at all off the level 2. Rise level 3, but it's not over. Nemo's still alive. Oh, but Aqua survives with the Pierce. Are you kidding me?
Aqua bringing it all the way back in our tiebreaker series for the day. You know, Aqua looking kind of different, looking kind of hungry out here. I can appreciate that. Don't let it be a blowout.
Thirsty.
Let's get some more games.
Yeah.
I'm super down for that. Bring us to a tiebreaker set. Nemo looking to prevent that, gets a huge jump in against Aqua. He gets a set up departure from this far away. At least I thought so. But Aqua, he's been pretty adamant about throwing these ghosts. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to let you set up. I'm going to be the one to dictate the pace.
So the departure again. Trying to walk him down. Yeah, I like to see more of these jump-ins. Jump medium punch up here. I've definitely been clipping some of the limbs from Aqua. And every time it does it, feels like it works out more often than not, but there's the anti right there. So as I say that, Aqua that perfect range to get that crouch pierce, and has to lead backs up, so it gets clipped with that crouching medium kick, but not much after.
You see Nemo being a little bit proactive also with some of the normals that he has. Whether it's in drive rush, he'll throw out the crouching medium kick early. Whether it's crouching medium punch, he'll throw that to check Aqua. But now he's looking for the drive gauge. But Aqua, man, he got clipped anyway. He was trying to block for his life, and now he can't block anymore. Match point again for Nemo.
Can he seal the deal now? This is where we've seen Aqua shine. Finds a jump in, the commitment to the low button, and Nemo still out these jump ins again. Not even just jumping here, jumping medium, it's just jumping light kick too as well. That leads to success. Has him in the corner, based on OD amnesia. Doesn't get the follow up, but still has him right where he wants him until the jump, and he committed to a button. Jump light kick from Aqua.
Oh, you thought? That was so smooth from Aqua. You could get a reset off of this if you wanted to. No, he's just going to go for the knockdown. He gets to set up double departure. Only a single one, and it's interrupted. That could have been huge if you just set up the double. Oh, and it doesn't matter, the drive impact. Nemo has gone to that option in the well 4 times, 5 times over in the corner where he would swing with heavy punch, and he's been severely punished for it every time.
Yeah, I don't know why we see that. I can't wait to see the stats from that, but has not worked out. We're on final game, final round right now. Aqua been able to clutch it out. He's a clutch god right now. Folks with the crouching medium kick, slipping in some damage every so often. Drive rushing, and we see some neutral jumps from Nemo. Maybe trying to stuff and stop. Drive rush from the side of Aqua. But Nemo getting aggressive. Level 3 big lead right here. Big amount of damage.
He just built that as well. Gets to set up the double departure. Letting it rip pretty early. Now, either way, Aqua, every time he's gotten himself out of the corner, it was Nemo who was pretty much antsy to try to get out, whether it's a normal or not. And there you go. As soon as he gets knocked down twice, not anticipating all of that. That level 3 is incoming. Are we going to see a final game? This might be enough. This might be enough.
Welcome to the kill. Will it kill? It doesn't. It's a one touch. Nemo got to play perfect. One hit will do it. Blocks the overhead. Parries the overhead, I should say. Wasn't burned up, but the jump in saves the day, and Aqua saves his team. So I'm thirsty for that victory. Let's get it quenched.
We're seeing the blatant weaknesses from Nemo, not able to get past Aqua's offense. He had to turn his camera off. He's like, you know what? Face cam off run. I gotta make sure that I'm focused on this matchup. That was so sick too. We were talking about some of the big nuances of Nemo's offense, but we also happened to catch a glimpse of how antsy he got on defense. That was actually a big surprise. I thought Nemo's defense was way more polished than that. I think there was a couple of noticeable patterns that he had gone to, especially backing up and throwing out the cane, throwing out the heavy punch, and then getting severely punished for it. And also how antsy he is choosing movement to get out of the pressure from the corner. Aqua took full advantage of that, the full reassessment. Aqua, my man, where have you been?
This is the Aqua I want to see. This is the Aqua I want to see in Street Fighter League, bro. This right here. And honestly, I gotta say, his defense, I know the defense of Nemo wasn't the best, but Aqua's defense too as well has been fantastic. I was worried about like what was gonna happen to Aqua during like these 6 setups and things like that, sequences. But in the neutral, just in general, Aqua's defense got better and better as the set went on, avoiding drive rush, avoiding the crouching medium kicks from happening, avoiding these corner positions, calling out the intentions of Nemo continuously. It's hard, especially in a mirror match, even more so, I feel like, where you have to study how the player plays even more so. That's a difficult thing to really think about. But Aqua staying solid, like his defense, way better and leading to victory. Nemo's defense, not so good. And I wonder what's going to happen for this first to death that we are at right now as Aqua saves his team for the final 5 points of tonight. Oh, match tonight, I should say.
You know, this is kind of wild. I think we've been leaning more so towards putting the player who has the most momentum to kind of ride it out for the sudden death, right? So we're kind of leaning towards Aqua staying in that hot seat, but I kind of like Zangief in the first one. Not gonna lie, I kind of like Zangief in the first one. That's kind of nutty, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Yo, Geef in a first and one, just a few SPDs to clean up, bro. That would be super sick. Actually, yeah, I hope we get to see that. Look at those anti-airs from the side of demo. 11 out of 22, catching a lot of jump backs. That's actually a really cool stat, the side of demo. Drive impacts, I guess we're landing 3 out of 3. I feel like some of them were not, maybe, but I guess maybe I'm wrong. Aqua, not so often. Even though his stats were not as good in some areas, they still had the victory. Again, the defense that we saw overall from Aqua saved the day against Nemo, and Nemo's defense was not so good, even though we see a perfect range on those DPs. Maybe we don't see OD Amnesia, but still we see 2020. But yeah, I want to go back to what you were saying. Geef in the first one, I believe in a Geef in the first one. No matter what matchup, I believe in a Geef in the first one.
I agree.
Maybe not same, but still.
This is gonna be tough, man. Yeah, with how good Nemo's stats overall were. I actually have a question. I don't know if when it comes to the drive impact number, does it count as a success when the drive impact is blocked, but it induces a wall splat or a stun? Does that count as a successful drive impact, or are we only counting it as they hit? You know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of curious about that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do another count over during the replay. Maybe I'll like contact somebody also in production. But yeah, I do kind of want to know about how that works out. But either way, looking at the stats, 20 to 20, I was asking for more games. We were both asking for it. They delivered. Aqua had to turn off his camera and really settle in, and I love that. I love that for him. I love that for Hiroshima Team Igusa. Saishunkan, Seoul, Kumamoto, they could do it without the points, right? They already have 140 points now under their belt, which technically puts them above Cyclops by 10 points. They are trailing the top of the leaderboard. They're trailing FAV Gaming by, I want to say, 30 points now. So that's not too bad. Saishunkan, Seoul, Kumamoto are currently in second with their current positioning. But Hiroshima Team Igusa, well, this is actually pretty huge. I think this puts them currently 15 points above Shinobi's. No, that's not right. Shinobi's won their matches too, so yeah, I'll have to do that over again. They currently have 110 points, right, for Shinobism Gaming?
Yeah, they have 110. Hiroshima gets 25 here. It's 110, so it'll be even, right? Wouldn't that just be even? But it'll be coming down to the head-to-head though.
75 plus 25 is 100 for sure. So they'll be short. Yeah. No matter how it turns out against Shinobism Gaming, they will be short. So that's gonna be not too bad though going into like the following weeks, right? I think Hiroshima Team Igusa getting as many points as possible, and also anytime there's like a 5 laying around, I want to make sure that just gets evened out, man. My OCD goes nuts. It's like I see a 5 there. It's like great. We have to do some extracurricular math. No, I'm totally kidding. But it's tough right now to take a look. Yeah, this is the current standings right now. They have brought out the graphic. Hopefully it does get updated on the website as well. Let me see if I can press refresh on that bad boy and see it. No, not yet. So the graphics in front of the current commentators, that is the actual accurate score between the two. Very curious to see who's going to be sent out. I think we're going to get that answer very soon. Who's coming up to bat for the sudden death? Senkola, who is it?
It's going to be, I want to spoil it, but I'll just say it, Nemo versus Jazzy. Oh, this is going to be sick. Listen, I believe in Geef, but if I had to place my my belief in a player, it'd be Jazzy. He didn't get the victory that he wanted previously, but we see him be a clutch god. However, Nemo wanting his revenge, wanting to get some sort of victory for his team after losing to Jazzy. Maybe thought Jazzy, or not Jazzy, I'm sorry, to Aqua. Maybe thought Aqua was going to come back up and do like the run back, but still, either way, this is good for Nemo to get that revenge, right? Like, you're the captain, you got to come back for your team. But Jazzy, bro, he's been that dude. Even though he lost today, I still think that he has been a legend killer and may add Nemo to his list. Maybe he's had a shaky day and can like look back at what he did and immediately coming for this first one to get things done. I don't think Luke is that bad against JP. I ain't gonna lie. I don't think it's like Luke beat JP, but you have drive rush stand, medium punch, light punch, anything that lurches forward is gonna go good against a ghost. You have buttons that can kind of deal with the crouching medium punch and stand medium punch of JP. Maybe not perfectly, but you have ways to deal with that character. And so I think go about even. OD Fireball also, the zoning play can maybe fight JP too as well. And the first to one, this character can dump out damage. I like Jazzy going up.
Yeah, with the way that Jazzy plays, I think it's well suited for the first to one as well. It's really up to Nemo. Again, we talked about how shaky his defense can be, or at least how great his offense can be. I didn't realize his defense was going to be as shaky as it was in the mirror match specifically. Going into it though, I think with the pace that Jazzy likes to play at, I think that would still give Nemo the same kind of issues, right? Where it gets a little bit too scrambly. He wants to choose movement as a defensive option. It's not going to be as beneficial in a game like Street Fighter some of the time, or at least not with JP. So we'll see, man. I think this is a pretty decent choice, setting up Jazzy with how fast he can be on offense.
I agree. And that confidence that he has when he has a lead, when he feel like he knows like the matchup. I feel like that's. I feel like when we watch like the Higuchi matchup, I feel like he didn't know what to do in that matchup. The match that we have seen him play, where it's obvious he's done, his homework. He is confident. He is aggressive. He is aggro. I feel like that's going to break down Nemo. And maybe go back to Nemo. Like he's put a lot of points into offense. He's put a lot of his RPG points into offense, into attack. On defense, not so much. We've seen that time and time again. He's had some good explosive defensive moments, but I feel like his offense is what he shines at. He's a single player sort of guy. He doesn't want you to play the game, but that may lead into problems when it's time to go back on defense. If Jazzy can initiate that with the quickness round start, he may be in trouble. He may be on the back foot. Obviously, JP's got OD amnesia. We know about all that. But someone like Jazzy, who has played a million JPs, whether it be out here or just in CPT or anywhere on ranked, is going to be ready and prepared for that sort of moment. So we'll have to see what Nemo has. I feel like if you're Nemo, you have to evolve that stat right now. Take a second, go to the bonfire, put some points in the right sort of area, and run that defense for a little bit. The first to one, not a lot of time to acclimate.
Yeah, it's kind of hard when you're kind of coming from a loss as well, with what looked like to be in favor of Nemo, right? You had put up, 2 games straight against Aqua's JP, only to fall completely through with a triple L. That is really rough. Jazzy looking to test the waters against the shaken up Nemo. We'll see if he shook off all the funk though.
Fist right now, not looking so good. With that aggression, we talked about that. Get that round start aggression going and flowing. It may be hard for Nemo to stop. Yeah, he about to drop. This is bad.
Jesus.
Perfect knuckle combo.
Level 1 ender. That is a perfect damn. Nemo was not able to shake off what had happened to him. He got done and dusted, and looking to pretty much get rid of the rest of the remains. Jazzy looking to throw him overboard.
Walking the plank right now, possibly. Jazzy, I like the switch up that he does. I was going to say how good he is in terms of the fireball and the drive rush, but I like that little shimmy that we see from Nemo. I haven't really seen a shimmy situation from the side of Nemo. Now coming through against Jazzy. These fakes have definitely helped out. Backs up for the anti-air. Hard to anti-air this character. Nemo found the perfect spacing to do so with that crouch pierce.
I was gonna say, like, on the contrary, we've seen that shimmy over and over and over again against Aqua, which is exactly why Aqua had gone for the jump. He knows his opponent too well. But look at this departure setup, yes sir. Timing it just right, getting the full extension, giving him the parry right back.
What? The perfect to perfect? So I'm going to end things. Drive rush. I'm a little bit faster with that crouching light punch. Chaser. There's the OD amnesia. Still gets hit. The follow up. Nemo does not get the departure, but still has level 3. Has a lot of party utilized. Drive rush 4 gears. Nemo got caught unawares.
Oh, he has to hold that. This is going to be all Nemo after this because of the burnout. We're going to see a lot of chip damage on board, but we got to see the departure setup first. Oh! have been it. Jazzy needs one hit, actually. He needs one hit. You can take him to Memphis. Drive rush or not. Oh, it's going to be so scary for Nemo. You got to play flawlessly still. That's how dangerous Luke can be. Don't let him give you a trip to Memphis.
CA now in play. Would he fireball, drive rush in? Does it overextend? One touch either side. No super. You're not going to survive. Diddle plan is all the best plan. We're going down to Memphis, and you're going down, bro. Jazzy. The super,
Trying
the
to
command
steal
grab. You thought you could get that?
again, man. That's just standard, man. Jazzy was 100% ready for a block string into the projectile. Nemo knew he made the big error. He put his hands up and he was apologizing to his teammates. Nemo was trying to get him with the sneaky stuff. He was trying to get the mixturization when Jazzy, he wasn't even in the same building as you. He wasn't even in the same level. He was gone way ahead as soon as he got his drive gauge back, his level 3. It was all about keeping it clean. Nemo, man, I don't know, sometimes he was feeling himself too much. That's what happens, man. When you feel yourself too much a little bit, it's like you know, I could get this guy with the command grab. I could catch this guy slacking a little bit. It's not enough, man. If Jazzy didn't have super, I think your chances of landing that command grab would have been much higher.
It's a slow command grab, but I definitely think you're right in terms of like landing if you didn't have the super, but Jazzy had that game plan in his mind the entire time. If you throw on a single fireball, you gonna get these fists, my guy. Like immediately Jazzy letting that rip, and that was it. I wonder if that's just like Nemo playing that single player game a little bit too often, where he's just like, there's no way you're gonna deal with this because I think you won't, because I'm running my game plan, but you gotta worry about the other person, their resources, and man, Jazzy knew what to do. And again, I think Jazzy was the perfect person to send up. The aggressive style worked out. HIROSHIMA Team Itsuka leaving with the lion's share of the points, 25 points over 20 was their opponent.
Yeah, man. That looked like ranked gameplay to me from the side of Nemo towards the end, where he's like, you know what? I think I'm safe enough to throw this out. That's what it felt like, man.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, Jazzy again. He's a threat. He really is a threat. And Kichipamu, man, he's got to be ecstatic. He's got to be absolutely ecstatic not having to face off against Nemo. And former boss, right? Damn, Kichipamu showing his eternal gratitude in taking down his former boss.
Man, my Twitter is alight with people saying uncharacteristically, you know, drop here from Nemo or whatever. Nemo, why would you do that? Ryusei, Obi Hart, all the other JP players mourning his loss. But Kichipa and obviously HIROSHIMA Team Itsuka just celebrating the win right here. Jazzy continues to be a standout player out here. Loss, you know, that's going to happen. You're going to lose eventually, especially if there's a matchup that maybe isn't as studied. That seemed like it wasn't as studied. Started Jazzy, but the ones that he knows, it seems like he is locked in to get that win. And I think that's a person that you have to watch out for, not only in League, but in the CPT. I feel like he is a dude that's going to go far no matter what. Again, people, go to Jazzy's stream. He speaks in Japanese, English. You can ask him questions. He is very studied in this game. He is fantastic. He said, I lost so bad on the first game. He means the first game he played against Noguchi. And I'm curious to see if he like means that also in terms of like studying the matchup, like against Guile, because we didn't see those perfect parries and drive rushes right after, which you would typically see at like a base level. I'm curious if that's part of it.
And we are getting a couple of more words from the captain, Storm Kubo. Obviously, he's ecstatic, right? We're still getting the full translation for Storm Kubo, and then Aqua also. Aqua's in. He's in. All right. He had to restart his Discord. He had to make sure that he was ready for the post-game interview. But he is looking like a stone-faced killer. But I gotta say, man, there was a lot of adaptation from the side of Aqua, exposing the big weaknesses of Nemo's gameplay on defense, right? I think we've been so... I'll admit this. I definitely get very starstruck in regards to Nemo in regards to his offense in reverence towards how he kind of dissects matchups and figures out how to pilot certain characters. He's always been like the big innovator at first. And people can attest to that, for sure. The way that Nemo's been historically in every fighting game. in the very beginning, he's like one of the ones to watch in terms of being the lab monster. But Aqua, he's a legend himself too. He's been a part of the scene just as long as everybody else that's in the current roster of Street Fighter League. So putting respect on his name, especially with the way he adapted to a legend, claiming his or reclaiming his legendary status as well. This is it's a huge turnaround, I feel like, for momentum in the camp of HIROSHIMA Team Ikuza.
I mean, thinking about the performance of like Aqua, maybe it hasn't been up too far to that name. So it makes sense. And you look at Nemo and how he's been working on the stream, how we've seen him play at CBT and things like that. It makes sense to believe that he would be ready for that matchup. But Aqua, he said, it looks like I'm not happy, but I'm really happy. And I'm sure he's very happy. Taking that victory, leading into that final game, as Jazzy has said, you know, he's glad that Aqua got the banger game in the first place. And Storm Kubo relating that it's thanks to Aqua and Jazzy that they had won. And Storm Kubo himself, we'll have to see what he does in defense. It's hard. Maybe he has to have a secondary in terms of matchups that, you know, you'll be taken to the corner continuously, or, you know, where you need more of that defense. You might have to see a different character from the side of Storm Kubo. Not sure what he would pick. Maybe Marisa, but we'll see how things go on if they make it to the second part, or the second section, I should say, of the season.
Very excited to see it, man. HIROSHIMA Team Ikuza. I would love to see Kichipop play just a little bit more, but with the current run that they have right now, slowly getting all of the points necessary, they broke the 100-point barrier, which is pretty huge, but they still need just a little bit more to secure themselves into the second stage. As it stands right now, taking a look, Shinobism Gaming versus FAV Gaming. They got that W 30-10. DetonatioN FocusMe over NAGOYA Oja Body Star, or against NAGOYA Oja Body Star. It was Fudo taking it down against KB at the end, which was pretty scary. And of course, Saishunkan Soul, Kumamoto, we get to check out the stats in the sudden death. Nemo's JP against HIROSHIMA Team Ikuza's Jazzy. Now, these stats, not going to be as long-winded about it during the sudden death. It's 1-1. I think Jazzy pulling out all the stops with his aggression, very, very smart. But also the big erroneous command grab from the side of Nemo. It's pretty much what said his defeat.
That super sealed the deal. Yo, Jazzy having that bar ready for it too as well. I gotta give credit to Jazzy. You know, these are clutch moments that he hasn't been accustomed to compared to other players out here. He's only new when it comes out like that upper echelon of play. So for him to have those clutch moments ready today has been fantastic to see. We've seen it continuously out through the league. You know, 25 points for HIROSHIMA Team Ikuza. This is a big blow. Saishunkan Kumamoto, part of the playoffs last season. We're so close to doing it. Only lost to Great Squad in the rest of that top three sort of thing. And they go down. They lose points out here, losing to a team that typically sits at the bottom. You cannot tell what's going to happen out here at Street Fighter League Japan 2023. And that's what I love to see. I love to see that variance, that surprise factor. Even the fact that Shinobism Gaming walked away with some points you see right here. A lot of points against a top team that's FAV Gaming was a surprise. And it's up 30-10. Shinobism Gaming, DetonatioN 30-10. And then Saishunkan Kumamoto losing to HIROSHIMA Team Ikuza 25-20.
It's been pretty unpredictable, at least towards the end of a lot of these matches. But one thing is for certain, these guys are slowly starting to rearrange these positions. FAV Gaming, however, they're the anomaly. They've been nothing but the favorites, I feel like, since we started this whole journey. Still sitting at 170 points in first place. Saishunkan Soul Kumamoto bumping themselves back up over Cyclops Athlete Gaming Osaka, then followed by Gyogen with 120. Shinobism Gaming climbing up as well with 110 points, but it's good 8 squad at the cusp of 6th place with 105. HIROSHIMA Team Ikuza getting themselves the big 100, evening it out. NAGOYA Oja Body Star also getting some points on the board, still trying to find that W, but the team that did find a little bit more success this time around, obviously, HIROSHIMA Team Ikuza. But, you know, DetonatioN FocusMe, also they played earlier today. They found their success with with John Takeuchi and Fudo. It's looking pretty positive for a lot of the teams that are in the lower parts of the current leaderboard.
What's all looking so positive is Good 8 Squad. They're on the cusp and have to fight Saishunkan Kumamoto, who, you know, after this loss is going to be working even harder to secure that victory. Imagine Good 8 Squad leaves with nothing. in Saishunkan Kumamoto gets that 40 baller. Of course, Yoga versus DetonatioN FocusMe, the Cyclops Athlete Gaming Osaka versus Shinobism Gaming. All these are going to be bangers, but that Good 8 squad is the one I'm really focused on. There's a chance where they get nothing at all, or they falter and fail and do not make not even the playoffs, or even the second part of this season. The previous winners, I know it's a new game. I know there are new teams and things like that. It's a new, fresh look. But imagine the previous winning team that's been on a streak not making it.
Yeah, that's a wild thing to think about, right? Good 8 squad being the current reigning champs, not even making it into the second phase, let alone the playoffs. That is something of a wild prediction, but it could happen, right? Just as Seikola said, just as I reiterated a little bit earlier ago, this is a brand new game with so much on the line. Whether it's Street Fighter League or the actual Capcom Pro Tour, guess what? There's going to be some big money. The overall prize pool with over 2 million, not billion, $2 million, with a lion's share of $1 million going towards first place. You can see the qualification routes to get to Capcom Cup. We got 18 online premieres, 3 offline, 156 World Warrior events to get 26 players. Then the last chance qualifier where it gets nothing but nutty and crazy towards Capcom Cup at the end of it. Again, the registration is now live for all regions. I think the one coming up most recent would be this weekend with South America West, if I'm not mistaken. But if I am, just in case, go to CapcomProTour.com for all the info. Now, World Warrior Japan #2, everybody's looking forward to it. The same exact weekend as a CPT weekend. There's going to be so much more Street Fighter 6 for you to behold. And we've talked about the schedule of what's coming up in Street Fighter League. In fact, we're going to have even more of that coming up Friday. Again, mark your calendars. It's going to be a lot of it. Yeah, St. Cola and I, we talk about it every time. It's like, you know what? We are a little bit tired, but you know what really wakes us up? Getting ready for these matches and watching them, because you never know what's going to happen here in Street Fighter League Japan.
We really don't, and that's the exciting part. People, I hope you enjoyed this great Street Fighter 6 action. We're going to have it week after week. Make sure you keep it locked and loaded, not only in Street Fighter League, but also the World Warrior events. Until then, stay safe and see you in the streets.